The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
Why?
let's go!
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers.
You pink!
Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Game 5's Thursday, May 29, 2025. This program starts now. Sports are happening in a big way. Last night, two teams punched their tickets to their league's respective championships. Let's say congratulations to the Stanley Cup champion, Florida Panthers. Hey. They punched their ticket for the third straight Stanley Cup finals. They could potentially go back-to-back. I do believe there are only 5 teams, I think, that have gone back-to-back, or 8 teams that have gone back-to-back in the history of the NHL. It would obviously be a dynastic conversation with this Florida Panthers team, who not only have most of their returning starters from last year, but also added the absolute beast, Brad Marchand from the Boston Bruins in the middle of the season, that has only upped their toughness. Now, what they were doing to the Carolina Hurricanes in front of the 20,000 Caniacs is bully them and beat them up. And there was a time here late in the series, the last 2 games, where it looked like maybe the Hurricanes remembered who they were. The Carolina Hurricanes were going to try to thump this Florida Panthers team back. They were up 2-0 last night after a massive sweeping 3-0 win in the game prior to this. The Canes had a 2-0 lead, and then all of a sudden the Florida Panthers woke up with some nasty mitts, some nasty shots, and they came back in 30 seconds, 2 goals to get 2-2, and then they would score a few more and end up winning this thing and punching their ticket to their third straight Stanley Cup final. This Florida Panthers team is ridiculous. There's a guy that's in Barkov right here. Bang, bow, boom, top Ched. That goal right there, absolutely filthy. I believe that goal was scored by
Is it Carter Verhaeghe?
whatever. Barkov, filthy mitts. And then that goes top Ched. They're just toying with the Caniacs and the Hurricanes. They end up filthy. Just skill, power, physicality. I believe we're talking about to Patty Maroon, who won 3 straight Stanley Cups at one point during his career in the second hour, to chit-chat about how dominant and how awesome this Florida Panthers team has been in their quest to win their second Stanley Cup in a row. Congrats to them. Congrats to the Carolina Hurricanes, another conference final,
yep.
And they won a game this time. Instead of getting swept in the finals like they have done in the past and certainly last year, they won a game, looked like they were in it, were fighting back, and then the Florida Panthers just kind of put the foot on the gas. Congrats to them. They're going to the Stanley Cup finals. Who will they play? Well, tonight we find out if the Oilers can punch their ticket by beating the Dallas Stars. Now, it's 3-1 in this Dallas Stars team, especially with Otter in the net, and Rantanen and a Finnish group of men are certainly capable of coming back from being down 3-1. But this guy right here, McJesus, feels like this is potentially the year. This is potentially the time where a Canadian franchise wins the Stanley Cup for the first time in 400 years. It's not the accurate number, but it has been a long time since a Canadian franchise has hoisted Lordo. Will McJesus be the one to do it? Will McJesus and Draisaitl be able to punch the ticket? Or will their goalie continue to stand on his head and keep the Dallas Stars in a place where maybe their fans will never be able to experience true happiness?
Oh, no.
We're sorry for all the Otter fans out there that this thing might be over tonight. Let's go to one half of the hammer. Dahn. Cowboys, Bubba Gumpino. Gumpy, this could be it for your Dallas Stars here tonight, buddy.
Not tonight. We win at home. After that, going to be tough to win Game 6 on the road, but Texas hockey gets it done tonight. That's a guarantee, brother.
Okay, that's from Gumpy's heart, I do believe, not necessarily his gambling mind. He wants to put that Otter mask on one more time.
Bad.
He doesn't want the season to be over. He doesn't want this miraculous run to be done. But it could be tonight if McJesus decides to just float.
See ya.
Cook. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's playing at a different speed than everybody else. I have no idea how he does it. He makes it look so damn easy. Could this be the year for him? Or do the Dallas Stars make a miraculous comeback? Well, the Florida Panthers have already punched their ticket now. Get a lot of rest, potentially. Remember, every game the Dallas Stars continue this with the Edmonton Oilers. That's rest for the Florida Panthers team, which is a big deal at this stage of the NHL season, especially with how grueling and tasking it all is. We shall find out tonight if the Oilers join or if the Dallas extend. And then the Oklahoma City Thunder just thumped. I mean, absolutely thumped the Minnesota Timberwolves last night in punching their ticket into the NBA Finals. Who will they play in the Eastern Conference? We find out tonight, potentially, or maybe the New York Knicks extend. But this team right here has been a runaway train for the entire season. During the entirety of the season, everybody was talking about how we don't talk about the Oklahoma City Thunder enough. That was kind of the conversation about the Oklahoma City Thunder. They're going to have the MVP probable. Well, that came to fruition. SGA is the league's MVP.
Yep.
Congrats to him. They said they got the best fan base and the best atmosphere in the NBA. You should talk about that. And their team doesn't care who does well. Their team shows up, and they make big-time plays, including, give it to me. Hartenstein, Chet Holmgren, both over 8 feet tall. Caruso's an absolute dog. SGA's their MVP, and they'll pass that thing around.
Oh, yeah.
They're not scared to distribute. Jalen Williams would go ahead and go crazy. And their coach is a super genius. We'll be talking to Jamal Crawford here in about 10 minutes or so, a man who played 20-plus years in the NBA. He's been putting over their coach more so than anything. He's got everybody bought in. He's saying this city, this team, since jump, has been the best team in the league. Now everybody's getting a chance to see it. I think that's true. Because if you look in the Western Conference, there were so many other storylines that distracted us potentially from the greatnest that is this Oklahoma City team. But if you don't win a championship, nobody's ever going to take you serious on a day-to-day basis. That's why the SGA is the new face of the league, a superstar. All anybody says is, gotta win a championship, gotta be in the finals. People talk about Tyrese Halliburton. Is he a superstar? Never seen him in the finals. Well, he's fucking 25 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in the Eastern Conference Finals last year trying to get back there. But that is the real question. Can you win? Can you win a title? Or are you going to be the person that is great but never has a ring? Happens in all sports. You get judged on the amount of championships that you have. There's only so many opportunities to win a championship. Look at how many teams were vying for this particular title this year, just in the Western Conference, let alone the Eastern Conference in the entire NBA. It is very hard to win a championship, that is why you are judged so harshly. If you haven't won one, SGA and the boys have a chance now. They are certainly in the finals. Will they take on the New York Knicks? We're at home tonight, Game 5, down 3-1 in Madison Square Garden. There'll be a lot of people packed in that arena. I will not be one of them.
Come on!
Ben Stiller extended an invite as well publicly.
Yeah.
I saw him say that. I think there were some other people. I'm not paying $70,000 for a ticket.
Fair.
Good move.
I think that's
Fair.
smart.
I'm sorry, I can't do it. I just can't. I can't do it. There is, obviously, I will be watching the game. I will be fired up about the game. But I will not be in Madison Square Garden because I'm not doing that.
And prior engagement.
Yeah, there is a scheduling conflict, but also
Could have made it work.
there was a, but those seats obviously have been taken for a long time, and I believe there's a chance that there's some say on who gets to sit where.
Oh, yeah.
From
Jimmy D.
I can see that.
I think so, yeah. And that's awesome.
But
by the
you've
way.
given him that amount of money basically to one of his other facilities, so I feel like he should have been like,
Oh, you're talking about the Sphere now.
Yeah, good point.
You're talking about the Sphere, which is also sick, by the way. I respect every decision that was made there because I believe there was some calls about, hey, can we do some? No. Yeah, no.
Yes, and he may have seen your promo, and hadn't thought one way or another about
And I
it.
like that, by the way.
Yeah, no, for
I
sure.
like
you think he's ever had a Pacers or an opposing team on the court or on the hardwood during a
Bingo, especially like
Certainly not in the
I have so
playoffs.
much respect for
Yeah.
that. I have so much respect for that. I actually appreciate that because there's people calling from all angles.
Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of people calling like, "Hey, this could be a good thing," and I was willing to walk in there. I knew it was going to be a little hot. I knew it was going to be a little hot. Do have a scheduling conflict, so depending upon what time I was going to be able to go through, I mean that's a whole nother conversation.
Right.
But because it was all coming together pretty quick. But with that being said, shout out to Ben Stiller. Appreciate you. We'll be watching. Hope you come back to Indianapolis in future years whenever the Pacers are playing the Knicks. Hope it's not this year because that would mean that you guys win tonight. Don't want that.
No.
Don't want that at all.
Nope.
Would like the Pacers to punch their ticket to the NBA Finals tonight as they take on the New York Knicks in the Mecca, Madison Square Garden. Tyrese Halliburton and the boys are ready. And I feel like they are a team that can keep up with that Oklahoma City team because they can run. The thing about it is there's a lot of running happening in these teams that are good. Now, both these teams are Oklahoma City and Indiana if they were to make it. Okay, we're not saying Indiana's there yet. I'm just saying if they were to make it, would be the first two teams since 2002 or something like that who do not have to pay a luxury tax for how much money they've spent on their roster to make it to the finals or to win the finals. So I guess every team that has won since the salary cap tax has been put in place, 2002 or 2003, I forget what the year was, has had a team or has had a champion that has paid the tax. We're paying more than what salary cap is, but you allow us to do that. We just have to pay a luxury tax. So the salary cap isn't really a real thing. It's just a, hey, if you want to spend this much money, the NBA is going to need some.
Yep.
Or the rest of the league is going to need some of that money. So they try to kind of make it fair. But obviously, we've talked to Matt Ishbia, who owns the Phoenix Suns, right here. He has said, my fans don't care about how much I got to pay in luxury tax. They want to see that we win. So he has a shit ton of money. He puts all of it into the team and pays the tax. Now, I think he is being punished for it now as he tries to rebuild that team. But since the start of the luxury tax, I guess the teams that make it into the finals always have some sort of fee they got to pay for the amount of superstars that they have on their roster. The Pacers and the Oklahoma City Thunder, if that was to be the finals, not saying it is, they would be two teams that do not have to pay the luxury tax because they were able to find dogs at a proper price, is what the Indiana Pacers would say, and the Oklahoma City Thunder front office would say. But basically, they're a team filled with dogs. And they're a team that don't seem to be worried about who gets the credit. SGA is the MVP, and I don't see anybody on his team like bummed out about it. They're all pumped for him. They're all excited for him. He bought everybody Rolexes.
Yeah.
And then you talk about Pascal Siakam. He was the guy that was the All-Star for the team this year. He wasn't even. He was the only All-Star from the Indiana Pacers. Was Pascal Siakam. He's not getting talked about at all nationally. It's all Tyrese Halliburton getting talked about, even from us and everywhere else. Pascal doesn't care. Pascal doesn't give a damn. He's just there to win games. And you talk about Obi Toppin, he knows exactly what he's in there to do. Everybody, Shepard's in there to smack the wood. Like, these guys just understand their roles. They understand what they're there for. And Coach Carlisle and the coach from Oklahoma City have been fantastic at how they've gotten the team's cultures to these places. And obviously, you got to have superstars, which both these teams do. So can the Pacers take care of business tonight against the New York Knicks? It's going to be a tough game, man.
Yeah, for sure.
All these games have been battles.
Yeah.
Even whenever there's been big blowouts. I mean, the game that the New York Knicks won, the Pacers were up 20 for a large majority of that game, and then the Knicks come back, let alone in the Garden, where that place can get rolling.
Yeah.
Those people are on top of you. There's a chance for some runs. It's going to be a battle tonight. Can't wait to watch. No easy task, and hopefully the Pacers punch their tickets, brother. The Toxic Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Obviously, these series have been great.
Yep.
Been some blowouts, but
sure.
mostly NBA, NHL series have been fantastic. This NBA one, because the Pacers are in it, I think makes us kind of close to it a little bit more.
For sure.
What Oklahoma City did to Minnesota last night was a thumping. It was, 71-34 at one point?
Yeah.
It's like, that's an ass beating. That's like a really good high school team taking on a very bad high school team.
Right.
And that was obviously in Oklahoma City. That's a Western Conference final game. This Oklahoma City team is dominant, and they have been for a long time.
Yeah, they're and that's what almost kind of sucks, is because in the Eastern Conference, the games have been so good and so highly contested, and it's one of those things where, like, you have to be locked in the fourth quarter because you really don't know what's going to happen. I don't want to say that this series has been borderline unwatchable, because that's not really the right way to phrase it. But it is, like, at that point last night when it's 71-35 or whatever, like, it's over. And there's no feeling that, oh, Minnesota's got a run in them, they're going to come back, because we've kind of seen it throughout the series. So that is when it's nice that you have a hockey game that's competitive going on, because otherwise it's like, this will put you to sleep, but that's how dominant they are. They're just workmanlike, and they go out and kind of just beat the piss out of you, and that's what they did this whole series. But if we get, like you said, if it is Pacers, if they end up making it to the NBA Finals and it's Pacers Thunder, I know everyone is saying, like, oh, it's, no one's going to watch it because it's not too big markets. The style of play and the brand of basketball in those finals is going to be so entertaining. It's going to be incredible. And I think if you're not a huge basketball fan, like, that would be a great time to get in and be like, wow, this is unbelievable. This is what playoff basketball should be.
And these boys run.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There is running out there. If they give up a bucket, who cares? We're pushing it back the other way. And they're just going to see if you're in shape. And I think that's a big deal with these teams at this point. I know I keep going back to this, but I was literally just feet away from the game. Great seats. Had a desk in front of me.
It's awesome.
Good spot. I was on the Pacers bench. It's cool to be there. Very close to the action. Very, very close to the action. you could see that the Knicks were tired. And it's like the Pacers bench, the way they were acting whenever they saw that was like pounce. Like this is in the Oklahoma City team, they're not scared to put like pound, like let's go for it. Like I think we got two very good teams potentially. Pacers need to handle business.
Right.
And if they lose tonight, remember it was just 3-2.
Yeah, it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal. It's no big deal. Actually, come back in the
Come back
game
home,
break,
win at home.
get a chance to celebrate. Don't want to give any momentum back to the New York.
No, they
Knicks.
want to win tonight for sure.
Yeah, we would like this to be. We don't need this to keep going.
Yeah.
We don't need this to keep going. If you're a Pacer fan, if you're a Knicks fan, you win tonight, you start having hope again.
Yeah.
I mean, the other night, obviously, game 4 there. That one, if the Knicks win, I think bad news.
Yeah.
I think bad news for
No
Oakland.
doubt.
For sure.
Tonight, obviously, can still get it done, but I appreciate them. And you talked about how big of a blowout last night's game was. That Canes-Panthers game was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So good.
Down 2, come back. It's nice to have that. We're going to be losing that here soon.
I know.
We're going to
Very
be losing
soon.
that soon. Let's go to one half of the hammer.
Dahn.
Cowboys, AP Tone. What's the stat that we're not talking about, you think?
Something we tend to forget about with this Thunder team, because they are young and we didn't talk about. They won the West by 16 games this year. Like they were 16 games up on the number 2 Houston Rockets seed, and that wasn't talked. They were the co-favorites with the Celtics for a lot of the year to win this whole thing. And I feel like a lot of times on these championship runs with teams like this, it's not always their conference finals or the finals where they have the hardest series. Like the Nuggets took them 7, and a lot of the times, like when you have to go against a veteran team that's won before and you take them 7 and you get over that hump, like and then they just kind of cruised it in this series. And then on the other side, the Pacers, they kind of treat basketball like we do normally. It doesn't start until after football season.
Jeez.
After football season, the Pacers and the Cavs, I think, and the Thunder were the 3 best teams in the league as far as record-wise. Like, if the Pacers thought it was basketball season all season long, they could have been in a situation where the Thunder were.
Yeah, and if they would have been able to play the way, because Tyrese had a cold start.
Yeah.
I think he would even say that. All-Star break comes, he's not in the All-Star game, or he's not playing or selected. So he comes out the other side of that. Incredible. So does the rest of the Pacers team, because if he's playing well, the rest of the team's playing well. He is the point guard for the entire squad. He's the coach on the court. They're fun, man. It's a fun team to watch. So is this Knicks team. I hear the Knicks people now saying, well, we're, this is not what we expected this year. We did not expect to be this good. We're in the Eastern Conference Finals. We were built. What was said yesterday to me? We were built to beat the Celtics,
not the Pacers.
Not built to beat the Pacers. Like there's all these things coming. I think Knicks fans happy with the year, right? If we go to Bruce back there, Bruce, Knicks fans incredibly pumped that you guys are in the Eastern Conference Finals. This is the best the Knicks has been since forever. It feels like.
Yeah, you could maybe argue 2012 when Carmelo, Mari Stoudemire, and J.R. Smith were doing their thing that we may have been this good, but this is definitively the best we've been in 25 years. Kind of a weird season all in. We had 51 wins in the regular season, but I think we were like 0-6 against the top 3 teams in the league. Obviously tested by the rough and tumble Detroit Pistons, and then, shocked the world with the huge upset over the Celtics. So we've kind of fallen into like the worry that we had at the end of the regular season, where it's like, we are kind of a disjointed mess where the starting lineup looks like they don't know how to play together. But hey, tough questions need tough answers in the offseason.
Yeah, and Bruce already thinking about, he's bummed out.
He's bummed.
Bruce won a game 4 bad.
Feel bad.
I think him and Schrager were sharing some some moments with each other, knowing that this one's a big one tonight. Game 4, this is a big deal. Go down 3-1, obviously vastly different than 2-2. But if that goes 2-2, and then you're going back to the Garden, it's just a whole different vibe, a whole different world. Now down 3-1, it's a hope and a prayer almost, as opposed. And he hasn't had much hope.
Yeah.
And his prayers have been for the offseason. They haven't been for the series.
No.
I mean, it's been a whole different thing.
I don't know if there's anything basketball-wise that you can look at on the court that gives us hope that we can do this in 7. The one thing, like, maybe we get a better whistle and, like, Mathurin trying to WWE tackle everybody starts getting called a little bit. But I don't know if anything play-wise is inspiring.
You're saying the NBA officials are on the Indiana Pacers side.
Dolan's got heat.
Okay.
Said that about a couple series.
Geez, so ridiculous. Okay, before Jamal Crawford joins us, let's talk about a few things happening around the NFL world. Joe Flacco gave an interesting quote about his role as a Cleveland Brown quarterback. Obviously, he's the most tenured quarterback in the Cleveland Browns locker room. He found himself in this situation last year with the Indianapolis Colts as well, and he ended up playing a lot of time for the Indianapolis Colts. The time did not go as well as it went the year prior when he was with the Cleveland Browns, when he came in halfway through the season, when their quarterback situation was a complete mess. He was on the couch, literally on our show, throwing footballs in his backyard. Then he goes to Cleveland Browns with Stefanski, and he leads them to a playoff run.
Yeah.
Leads them to a playoff run. He has such a good year. The Colts sign him, bring him in for a little bit of money. Goes bad here, but Anthony Richardson drafted 4th overall. Anthony Richardson's supposed to be the future of the program. Joe Flacco had to get asked the entire time about leading, being a mentor, teaching this guy the game. Now he's back to Cleveland Browns. They got 4 quarterbacks with Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders, Kenny Pickett, and Joey Flacco, and he's being asked the same questions. Are you going to coach these guys, or what is it? And he gives one of the best answers I've ever heard.
It's a talking point. You can kind of like use it, like, because it's a good question to bait somebody into answering. And no matter how they answer it, it kind of makes the guy that's answering it look bad. If I say I don't want to be a mentor, I look bad. If I say I do want to be a mentor, then I look like an idiot that doesn't care about being good and playing football. So it's one of those questions that no matter what I say, you guys can write what you want to write about it. And there's a lot of questions like that. That's why you end up having to try to avoid them. I tend to try to be honest. And I've said I'm not a mentor. I play football. And in a quarterback room, there's a lot of times there's been a ton of times where there's learning experiences, and I have a lot of experience, and I can talk on things, and hopefully they listen. But it's not necessarily like my job to like make sure they listen to me. And hey, like hopefully you have a really good relationship with the guys that are in the room, and you naturally want to do that, But that was a long-winded answer, but that's ultimately why I think you guys ask it, Here's the thing is, like, because of what I just said, like, you're acting like I wouldn't want to be a mentor. It's like, once again, it's not really about that. It's just not the main focus. I see myself as a guy that can play in this league. So if your main focus was just like, hey, but I'm going to get you ready, you're just not taking care of business. The best way to be a mentor, honestly, is, like, show people how you go to work, And like I said, hope that they pick up on that stuff, but not necessarily force them to pick up on the things that you do.
Guy gives a minute-long answer about why, no matter what answer I give you, you're going to have your narrative about it. If I say, I don't want to be a mentor for this guy, I'm a bad teammate. I do want to be a mentor for this guy. Is he focused on leading the Browns? It's a no-win situation. I've said this. I'm not a mentor. Okay, but if he learns from me and we have a good room, that is good news. He's obviously been in the NFL a long time for good reason. The guy's an elite quarterback, which goes back to when he was asked, does he think he's elite? And I think he's always given these types of answers to the media. Do I think I'm elite? No, I think I'm just a bum. What am I supposed to say to that? Yes, I think I'm elite, which then immediately leads to everybody saying Joe Flacco is elite. It's like, what am I supposed to say? I'm not elite? I'm a bum. I won a Super Bowl. He just gave me $100 million. I'm not elite. I'm a waste of money. What am I supposed to do? Joe Flacco, whenever he starts speaking with that accent,
incredible.
Bad. Makes me look bad. Makes me look bad.
Talking.
What do you want? So he gives that entire answer about, like, no matter what I say here, you are going to find a bad way. Then he goes to a cut. Somebody goes, so you're not a mentor. And he's like, this is exactly what.
That's what I'm talking about.
This is exactly what I'm talking about. That's a tough situation over there, especially because, there's some NFL players that are veterans that it comes out later that, like, this guy just wanted the next person in line to do great, wanted to pass the torch. Normally that's for people that are pillars for a certain team, where they care about a certain franchise, where it's like, hey, I want this franchise to be good for the next guy that's coming through. I think Jason Kelsey helped draft Cam Jurgens to be the next center of the Philadelphia Eagles. I think he was a part of the whole process because he wanted to pass the torch to him. I assume in meetings when he asked questions, it was good. But there's been a lot of people, especially at the quarterback position, that are like, do you know how much shit I got to do?
Yeah.
I got to learn everything. I got to learn everything that's going on with everybody. I got to build relationships with everybody in this building. I got to be a CEO of this team. And then you want me to also what? Am I doing private tutor lessons with these rookies to tell them everything that I know so that they can potentially take my job as well? Like, if they want to watch what I do, if they want to ask me questions, good. I think Aaron even said that with Jordan Love.
Yeah.
He was like, I got to play a football game. And you think Tom Brady's worried about coaching younger quarterbacks?
No.
You think the guys we're trying to beat for the Super Bowl are worried about, their quarterbacks are worried about teaching other people? Not only being a player, but now you got to be a coach, and you also got to be a teacher, and you got to be a private tutor. It's like that shit Football's hard, especially at the quarterback position. Joe Flacco's like, I still think I'm a guy. Like, I want to start for this team. We went to the playoffs a couple of years ago when I was here. I'm looking to do the same thing. I love that answer from him. And I think Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders obviously understand, because I think we've been around Joe. He's a pretty approachable guy.
Yeah.
Tall.
Very tall.
Huge.
Very approachable, though. It's like I assume he'll answer any question that they have, but he's not going out of his way to put up study sheets together for these guys to know what the hell they're supposed to do. I think it was a great answer by Joe Flacco.
Yeah, it's learning through osmosis. It's not learning through like tests and quizzes. It's like, hey, I'm just going to watch this guy. Like you mentioned Kelsey, you mentioned Rodgers. It's not as if they didn't play and they were standing on the sidelines with a play sheet and, a clipboard and then letting them know, hey, you need to do this, this, and this when Jordan Love or Jurgens or Dickerson were coming off the field. It was, no, watch what I do, and then when I am done, that's when the torch is passed. Like, Rodgers didn't stay on the Packers once Jordan Love started. Kelsey didn't stay on the Eagles once, his time was up. It's those guys finish their careers, and then kind of the next person comes in, and then you can kind of judge, like, okay, was this guy a good mentor? Or more so, did this other guy just not really understand how it worked?
So that's in football. Let's go to basketball with a guy, I assume, who's been put in a position to mentor people. 20-plus years in the NBA. 3-time Sixth Man of the Year. He's a Michigan man, but he lives on one of the coasts. Never forget it, especially whenever he starts talking about this Pacers next series.
That's right.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, Jamal.
How you doing, Jamal?
What up, fellas? What up?
Hey, I don't know if you got a chance to hear Joe Flacco's answer there as we were trying to connect with you. He's obviously been in the NFL a long time. He's won a Super Bowl. He's been a made man. He's had success in a lot of different places. As a quarterback, has a lot of experiences. He was asked, like, hey, are you going to be a mentor to Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders and probably even Kenny Pickett? I don't know if you heard his answer, but basically his answer was, I got to worry about my own I got enough shit I got to do. If they want to watch and learn from me, that's cool, but I don't have time to be like a coach for them as well as being a professional player. In basketball, especially 20-plus years, what is the mentor conversation? There's like OG's conversation in football. Is the older guys in your room. You kind of go and ask them questions, but they're not being tasked with coaching you. They're just kind of the people you lean on. Is it the same in the NBA? And how is that for you?
I think it's the same, but it has its differences as well. What I mean by that is, yeah, at times you may like, hey, young fella needs some guidance. If I say something to him here, it can kind of change his trajectory. I had that with Rick Brunson, Charles Oakley, Scottie Pippen, guys like that, that were Kendall Gill, that were instrumental in kind of setting the foundation. But then there's been other guys like, look, I'm not going to say anything, just follow my lead. And if it works for you, take it. If it's something that can help you in your career, take it. So I've seen both sides of it. And I don't think he was wrong with that answer. And he was absolutely right saying, and no matter what I say, you're going to say this was wrong anyway. So he nailed it.
How about the person immediately followed up? Like he gives that whole answer, and so you're not going to be a mentor. All right. So literally what I just said, you were going to say whatever. If he wants to learn, he wants to learn. Okay, let's talk a little bit of hoops here. You were pumped up last night about this Oklahoma City team, and you've been talking about this for a while. I think you were the one that brought up the stat about, I think they've only lost 14 games this year. You were the one that brought up the stat that if they eliminated free throws completely from the NBA, SGA would still be the leading scorer in this entire thing. So what is it about this OKC team, and why is the coach the guy that you think isn't getting enough conversation about?
Because we see the obvious, right? We see SGA getting 30 a game. We see their defense is top notch. We see their role players, stepping up, being stars at times, and Shea, not having a problem giving them the rock, letting them make plays. But the coach, I called a couple games last year, and at one game in particular, I think it was Sacramento. Sacramento went on a 4-0 run. Game just started. He calls a timeout immediately. It was one of those Popovich moves where I'm like, oh, okay, he's so in tune with his team. And to see them respond, I've just been watching him and how smart he is, how he navigates the chess pieces. One thing you should know as a player on OKC, you're not going to be out-coached that day. So that's a certain comfort level, knowing that we're prepared, coach has the game plan, and he can adjust in real time. So I think he's a star on the sidelines as well.
How do I say his name, Coach?
Mark Daigneault.
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 Whoa. I'm not getting close to that. I grew up in Pittsburgh. A lot of Italians. I'm not dancing with that. But
hey, Pat, just say Coach Mark to make it easier. Coach Mark.
Coach Mark out there in OKC's got the boys humming. They're all bought in, especially with that city. It feels like a wonderful time, and they just put boots to ass last night to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Now they await, who's going to meet them and represent the Eastern Conference. Ty has a question for you about this OKC team.
Yeah, Jamal, kind of the narrative now after last night, especially a lot of people are saying, like, hey, the Thunder are on, like, the precipice of really becoming a dynasty. They have all these guys under contract for the next several years. They have a bunch of first-round picks next year. Like, do you think that's what we're seeing here? Do you think this is going to turn into one of those, like, Warriors adjacent teams who was kind of the favorite to win the title every single year? And is Oklahoma City going to end up being like a destination for, some big name free agents potentially? Or do you think that they're kind of just going to do business as they have done and just kind of find the right pieces, draft young guys? Like, do you buy into that whole thing? Because all year it was, hey, this team can't win in the playoffs. And now we're saying, hey, they're on the precipice of like being a dynasty and one of the best teams in the history of the NBA.
Yeah, I think they have to win one or two first to start that dynasty label because they have the runway to do it. I'll say that. They have an MVP. He's 26. I think their average age is close to 26 or somewhere around there. And it's really unusual to see a younger team like this and a young coach kind of peaking at the right time. It's usually like a vet coach and this young team kind of whipping him into shape. Or it's a vet team with a younger coach and they can kind of help him along. Like the Heat kind of did Spoelstra or how Carlisle's doing these young Pacers. But this is different because they're both so young and they're both at the start of what could be special and they all like each other. And like you said, Presti has it so set up. They're set up for the next, I don't know how many picks they have exactly, but they're set up for the next 5, 6, 7, 8 years. So if they win this first one, it could be their most difficult because now they're saying, okay, you know what? Everything we've been taught, now we know it works. So now we have the blueprint on how to win. So if they can win this first one, they have a runway. They can go out there and win a couple more for sure.
Boys are saying they got 4 1s this year.
Yeah.
Oklahoma City.
I believe one is in the top 10.
They got 4 1s?
Yeah, crazy.
So what do you do that? You bundle that and get Cooper Flag? How's that work?
Well, I mean, who knows?
4 1s. I don't know in the NBA what that means. Like, 4 1s feels like quite a leverage position.
Yeah,
one in the lottery too.
Yeah, in the lottery in the top. And then if you were to pull up to your point, like what does that even mean? The Paul George trade, the way SGA got to Oklahoma City, I mean, they basically gave up their entire team, all their picks just for Paul George, and now it's turned into, this with SGA being the MVP and all these other guys.
So who's on the market? What type of position would the Oklahoma City team need? They got to pay their own guys, I guess, but that doesn't do anything with the 4 1s. So they could be able to be pretty active in this offseason that everybody's talking about being. What did Sham say? The most craziest?
Yeah, most craziest offseason ever.
4 1s feels like a lot. I don't know. That just seems like a lot to me. What type of player would they? I don't know. How do you?
They can get anything, Pat. But the crazy part about it is, I think they got what they needed last year. I think they need to go through the playoffs with this group, and they're like, "Oh, okay, we need a bigger guy next to Chet. Boom, let's go get
2 1s. 2 1s. Okay,
4 1.
Jeez, that's a lot different. Yeah. Never mind. Everything we said was a lie. It's not 4 1s. It's 2 1s. Sorry. That's on me. We had to. Yeah. Okay. So they got 3 in the first 44. Okay.
Either way, Pat, they're set up. They can do anything. Like they have those picks. They have players that people want. But I think if you look at their history, they've been patient. Look what Presti's done since 2012. He's helped produce 4 MVPs. Durant, Westbrook, Harden became an MVP, and now SGA. Those are 4 guys that he drafted that went on to be MVP, so we can't question his moves. And now he has a load of everything. If he ever wants to push his chips to the table, he can get almost anybody in the league. Anybody, if he calls, they'll listen.
And he's got the best atmosphere in the NBA. People are saying that fan base is awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, they are bought in completely. The blue and white striped arena is fantastic. They say we need to talk about him more during the regular season. I agree. You win and start a dynasty here. I think everybody's going to be forced to talk about how awesome things are over there. Let's go to the Eastern Conference now. Tonight, the Indiana Pacers can punch their ticket to meet Oklahoma City in the finals. Now, I have gotten an opportunity to follow this Pacers team all season as you get a Okay, you're back. Connection was unstable, probably on our side, not yours. I apologize for that. But as I've watched this Pacers team all season, they've played like this against everybody basically for the second half of the year. Fast, they run all over the place. Carlisle, always locked in. I mean, I gave him a shoulder shot on that sideline. He didn't break, not at all. I watched him pace in front of me for the entire game. Not one time did he crack a smile. He feels like he's locked in. How does this team with Carlisle be a team that can maybe win the fucking NBA title this year? Like, why are they so good, you think? And what do they have to do tonight in Madison Square Garden? Is it start fast?
Well, start fast. Don't let the crowd get in the game. But then on the other side of it, when you're a player, right? When I was with the Clippers and we got Doc Rivers, we're like, you know what? Here's a coach that's won a championship. So we're holding on to everything he says. It's resonating with us differently. You could tell the Pacers team is going through that with Carlisle. Like, he's won a championship. He knows what it takes. Oh, and by the way, he's not trying to change them. Young guys want to get up and down the court. They want to play fast. They want the magic that Halliburton can provide with those passes or Pascal taking over. And they're playing with such energy. If they can advance, it will be an unbelievable finals because it's a contrast of styles with the defense versus potent offense. But tonight's going to be a tough one in the Garden. We know what that's going to be. It may be the loudest it's been all year. It's going to be a dog fight tonight. I can't wait. I'm shocked you don't have your Pacers jersey on already. I thought you'd be already warmed up for it.
No. Listen, hey, I have not worn it except for
iron. What's over there?
What's that?
Is it creased? Is it iron? Is it just waiting for you? Like, what's going on over there?
It's representing, brother.
It's not crease.
There ain't no creases in it. What are you talking about? This thing is ready to do its job, which is provide good vibes for the Indiana Pacers. There's actually a couple of them stacked up. You see,
game-worn McConnell right behind you.
Yeah, TJ McConnell right here. They're everywhere. What are you talking about?
They're everywhere. Okay. All right. My fault.
Yeah, I'm doing my part. Okay, I'm doing my part, Jamal.
You're bumping Carlisle. Unbelievable.
Dude, I gave him a pretty good shot.
Oh, yeah.
He and I have talked to each other twice. I think he was on the show once.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then I talked to him in real life at a Fever game. I believe I was at a Fever game. And I ran into him and chit-chatted with him. I think he does know of my existence. He understands the gimmick. Yeah, he did not care. Yeah, he did not care at that moment. But as I see him walking by, I'm like, yeah. Gotta give him a shot. And he'd been pacing. We were sitting right at that CarMax box right there. He'd been pacing in front of us basically all night. Did not crack once. And then after the game, even if they won, just did not crack one time. It was like, man, this guy is locked in. Absolutely. Connor has a question for you about the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, Jamal, our resident Knicks fan basically said, like, look, the Knicks were built to beat the Celtics, not the Pacers. And, I mean, every single team was built this offseason to beat the Celtics because they were the champions. But what do you think this year's going to do as far as team building goes going forward? The Pacers, they're kind of a running gun team, but, Oklahoma City's so good on offense and defense. Of course, Sham's saying this is going to be the most craziest offseason ever. How do you think teams are going to approach it when thinking of, hey, how can we beat Oklahoma City? How can we beat the Indianapolis Pacers? Do you think there will be more kind of lone star or just two-star type players per team, or do you think it will be a big three type as we've seen in the past?
I think what you'll see more so than anything is you'll see more playmakers. I think they'll come back to the forefront because in the regular season, you may play a team once, play a totally different team next week. When you could lock in the playoffs, and we're seeing it right now with Indiana and in New York, for example, they're so locked in on Brunson that he's not having the same success he had in the regular season. So now Cat has to step up. But you're seeing the need for playmakers. OKC has that. If Shea's not going, here comes J-Dub. He's not going, even Lou Dort, who can catch and shoot, can make plays. Isaiah Joe. They have these other guys who can make plays. And I think you're going to see that come to the forefront because when the game slows down and it really bogs down and they're locked in on your key guy, Anthony Edwards just went through it. You need other guys who can make plays and make everybody else's job easier and generate shots. So I think that will come to the forefront because the last few years has been just 3-and-D. Give the star of the ball, stay out his way, do the dirty work. I think you'll get playmakers back in the league.
We're talking about the running of the Pacers. They run. Like watching that game the other night, just in real life. I should have went to a game earlier in the year. It's what I should have. Puts it in perspective.
I thought you did get one in.
No.
Yeah, but the intensity of playoff basketball, you almost don't want to diminish that by going to a regular season game.
Schedule's insane. Obviously, always is. So I should have popped down for a game just because of perspective. Like just how tall everybody is, how big, how much running. Like Karl Anthony Towns, me watching him just run up and down that court at his size, I was so impressed with. But I think that's a big piece of what Indiana's game is. Like, hey, we're going to wear you down. Like, you are going to be tired. By the end of that game, they were clearly tired. Clearly tired. Is that something you sign up for whenever you play a team that plays the way the Pacers play? And is Oklahoma City the same or different?
Well, you do sign up for it. When I was in the league back in the day, and it was Steve Nash and the Suns, and they were second sevens or less, right? And they were getting up and down the court. We knew it would be a track meet, but I enjoyed games like that because I wanted to play fast anyway. I couldn't imagine doing it in the playoffs when it's the most physical and, it's the grind of it. The Pacers are we're not losing our pace regardless. So when you have a pace like the Pacers have, it almost brings another star player to your team because it generates shots for everybody. You don't know where it's coming from. They'll generate another 20, 30 points. So Coach Carlisle saying, play free, play fast. Let's score in 3 seconds or less. They're scoring like that after made baskets, which is unheard of in the playoffs. And that's their superpower.
Their entire bench, as soon as the other team scores, push! Like they are screaming. Yeah. Like that is getting that ball re-inbounded. And then when you talk about you don't know who's going to be the star, I think it's because all you need is one person on the court to be tired or to be laid down. And then that person's wide open. And then you just need that person to kind of score whenever they have their opportunity. Ben Mathurin came in for relief at Tyrese Halliburton, and I don't think they were focused on him. He had 7 straight points. And he was just running them. Like it was just very clear. It's a fun style. And the fact that they're called the Pacers, and it's a pace type of play is a perfect match with our city.
I mean, Neesmith in the comeback. He's the guy in that situation. He made, 6-3? He had 20 points in the fourth quarter.
Karl Anthony Towns will never get enough credit for running as much as he did just in game 4. I don't know about all the other ones, but watching him lumber back and forth, I'm like, how's this guy survive? I have no idea how you guys do 82 games. No clue how you do it, but I appreciate the fact that they're pulling it off. Now, Tone has a question about the defensive side.
Yeah, Jamal, obviously, you made your hay in the NBA on the defensive side of the ball, so I figured I'd ask you about that.
Locked up like Gary Payton, of course.
Exactly. So OKC, everyone knows about their defense, and all the highlights you see, they have so many just tip balls and fast break points. Watching last night, and the Pacers, when you watch their highlights, it's similar, and I know their defense has gotten better as the season has gone on. Is it more of an effort thing in the NBA, or can you scheme a great defense in the NBA?
You can scheme a great defense. I think it's more trust, because trust is built on the defensive end, because your instinctive nature to say, I don't want my man to score. There's 5 guys guarding the ball, and that's why Anthony Edwards had no gaps. That's why whoever they play has no gaps or no driving lanes, because there's help everywhere you go. One guy has the ball, 5 sets of eyes are watching him, so it forces him to either take a tough shot repeatedly over and over and over, or have to pass the ball and trust his teammates. And they're so connected, and that's what's rare about a young team. Usually vet guys are like, you know what, we're going to need this in the playoffs. We've been through it. We've been in the league 15 years. These guys are doing it young, and they're taking pride in it. And they're almost looking like, you know what, let's see how many stops we can get in a row. Because they know they're breaking the other team's spirit, because they're trying to, do whatever they can to get a shot. They're so locked in on the defense that it makes it easy on offense, because they're getting stops and they're going.
What happens tonight?
Pacers throw the first punch. I'll say this: whoever
just can't say it, huh?
Whoever's leading by halftime wins the game.
Okay, so there's no crazy fourth quarter shenanigans like there has been a few different times.
What if it's tied?
2 different types of pressure. The Knicks are trying to survive. The Pacers are saying we're going to go to the finals tonight. So it's 2 different types of pressure. Whoever's winning at halftime and can settle into their game first, I think wins tonight.
What if it is tied? If it's a close game, who's it go to?
Then they better hope Reggie Miller's not on the call, because then it gets ugly late.
Hell yeah.
Okay. He is.
You could just said Pacers win. That would have been cool. I would have liked to hear that. That would have been nice.
Hey, I play for the Knicks, not the Pacers. I'm just saying. Hey, I got it. I know what you're feeling over there, but I'm just being honest.
Feels like everybody played for the Knicks. Yeah. It just feels like more and more people. We appreciate the hell out of you. You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, Jamal.
Big one tonight.
Big one.
Huge.
Big one. Not as big as the engine that you can find in a 2025 Ram 1500.
Good point.
All the power you need, the luxury you want, and the capability you deserve.
Hell yeah.
This hour is presented by Ram Trucks, and it's powered by their big-ass engines.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
Shout out to Ram Trucks, Dodge Ram Trucks. Let's do a little bit more football talk, shall we? College football talk, even more so. Kurt Cignetti of the Indiana Hoosiers is kind of, I don't want to say exposing, but potentially shining a light on something that maybe we haven't talked about enough in this entire NIL, boosters, donors world that we have. How many teams, are hogging the boosters and the donors money? Kurt Cignetti, who went to Indiana this past season from a massively successful run at JMU, comes over to the Indiana Hoosiers, hits the transfer portal, brings in a lot of D2 guys, a lot of guys that maybe have been kind of undervalued, people that haven't really had the opportunity to be in the spotlight. Dogs is basically what he was looking for. And he turns this Indiana team into a Big Ten threat, gets them all the way into the damn near to the dance. And whenever you're thinking about this Indiana Hoosier, Notre Dame actually kicked off the entire thing. When you think about this Indiana Hoosier team, they're maybe going to be the talking point of the depiction of what the transfer portal and the NIL can be. They transformed a team in a school that had been dead, didn't even care about football. What's a football team? Oh, it's something that happens in the fall that maybe a few hundred of us can go do on a Saturday in cold-ass Bloomington, Indiana. Into a sellout after sellout, into a national spotlight, into holy hell. Indiana's always been a basketball school. Now it's a football school, literally overnight, because Kurt Cignetti in NIL and what the boosters did. Well, the basketball team hired a coach that they like.
Yep.
Now Kurt Cignetti saying this.
For Hall, sign 3 players, and feel like you need fill the hole.
I'd like to have signed a few more, but when we hired Darian and he lost his whole roster, money got a little tight because he had to put a team together. And I felt the pinch.
Everybody's laughing around him. He's telling the truth.
Yeah, he's dead serious.
Kurt Cignetti is dead ass serious.
Yeah.
I felt a pinch a little bit. So that's an interesting dynamic on where the money goes whenever things happen. Darian DeVries is the coach that was from West Virginia, at West Virginia, 1 year. Don't love how that went.
Made the right move.
Almost went to the tournament. They were close.
And his boy didn't even play all year.
Yeah, they got jobbed, actually.
Which is interesting. He didn't play all year.
Well, he played just the amount of games to still have a red shirt or whatever. He did get hurt. He had his shoulder, had surgery. He's very good.
He is.
Very, very, very good.
We'll see.
Well, we thought that was potential coming to West Virginia. We were about to go on a run again. We were back. Sure. West Virginia hoops was all the way back. It did not work out. Now he's at Indiana. I assume he is thrilled. Okay, dream job, obviously. Yeah. The Hoosiers, as are the West Virginia Mountaineers basketball job.
Sure.
But he is now at the Hoosiers. I assume whenever he negotiated his deal with Indiana, he did the same thing as Cignetti did and said, hey, I'm guaranteed this, and this from the boosters and from NIL. Sure. And then Cignetti sitting in his office. He's going, I got a 5-star, 2-star that needs a job. I need an extra $75,000. Well, actually, we need a shooting guard for Darian's team because we don't have that, and his boy needs a little bit more money as well. And Cignetti's like, well, I thought we had this whole thing going. Now, who knows what the future looks like for the Indiana Hoosier football team? I assume Cignetti will win, but whenever you think about these schools that have a some, but not a lot, it's like, when does that well run dry?
And they try in both sports. Like you think like those like Indiana, like North Carolina, like Duke. Like, there's a lot of times when you've been a national powerhouse on the other side where that other team is going to get squeezed if – like, that's funny thinking about a booster sitting at his house and going, do I want basketball or football this year?
And that's really what it is in the modern world that we're in right now. And if you push, like, all those boosters should feel good about what the football team did.
Yeah.
Like, hey, did you see what we did to the entire thing? But the boosters probably at Indiana have always been a basketball school. So always been like, well, we need pinstripes. So we need that to remain. We need that, or candy stripes, sorry. We need that to remain in this entire thing. And it's like some schools, I think a lot of boosters put money in, and they did not succeed. And I think you're going to see.
Oh, yeah.
I ain't doing that.
Right.
No.
I ain't doing that anymore. And you're going to see like schools have maybe like a booster or alumni get interested for whatever reason. I mean, Ellison, who owns Lanai, Hawaii.
Yeah. Oracle.
Owns Oracle, but in doing so has also bought a piece of land from the United States of America.
Nice piece.
Beautiful out there. You know, $400 billion, I think, or whatever. He's $300 billion. He started dating a Michigan alumni. So he just became a Michigan booster.
Yeah.
So now Michigan not only has all their billionaires that they have, they add like the third wealthiest guy, and it's like he's in there. That can happen to any school. Like, and I'm not saying that particular situation, but like somebody can get interested in a school for whatever reason, and then all of a sudden, boom, football team does well, basketball team does well, and then if they don't do well, money drops off and they're gone. It's like, how does that get monitored? That'll be an interesting dynamic. Not saying the Hoosier football team is dead, but I think what we saw last year is going to be tough to sustain, especially if they have to split the cash, especially for a school that is normally heralded as a basketball school. Wild to think about all the future possibilities.
Yeah, and also makes so much sense why the SEC is up in arms about this NIL, because what has become a conference in basketball, the SEC was the most dominant conference this year. We had a conversation about the NCAA tournament, how they had 9 teams or something,
13
teams from the SEC, and the SEC's kind of the conference that was always known for running football. And then we talk about, kind of jokingly, hey, the Big Ten's won a few titles in a row here, but that is serious now, where you're looking at the NIL and what Sig is talking about. Now, I assume the Big Ten is one of those conferences like Penn State that we see, that we talk about, that has a bunch of money, a bunch of very wealthy boosters, whereas the SEC might be worried about that because there's so much money up north. And Bama, they didn't go to the playoff last year for the first time ever, but their basketball team was a 1 seed, or they went to the Final Four. And then Florida being kind of a football team that has really fallen off, but hey, don't look now, their basketball team is the national champs. Kentucky, I guess you could throw into the category, has always been a basketball school and never really will be a football school. But for these SEC teams and these Big Ten teams, if you have to pick right now between football or basketball, that puts your school in a terrible spot. Whereas the Big Ten, it feels like they don't have to pick. They're the schools that kind of can go either way. But it's interesting for that aspect to be kind of spotlighted now, especially with the SEC.
Well, and I think, like you said, like the way it used to be, it seems like, when we were in college, was if a booster gave like a massive donation, like that was kind of like they were good for a while. They'd build like a new facility or something, get their name on it. Now it's like an every year thing. Oh, yeah. It's not just like, hey, you donated this athletics facility for us, we appreciate you, you're set for the next however. It's like, hey, this thing doesn't end. So it's like, yeah, you gave us $500,000 last year. Like, we're going to need $1 million this year. And who knows how many people, especially at a place like Indiana, where, like you said, like the excitement is where it hasn't been in a long time because they have a new coach. It's a basketball school. It's a basketball state. They want to win. So you hate to say it, but it's almost in a position where I'm sure boosters now are like, well, we got to see the football team do it again. Because, like, we want the basketball team to be good again, but I don't know. Like, there are a lot of wealthy people out there, but how many people are okay with just blindly, all right, fine, we'll give $5 million to the football team, we'll give $5 million to the basketball team, and we'll do that every year until I'm dead. Like, I don't know how much that's happened.
You talk about people donating and getting wings and like plaques and things.
Right.
Now it's just like, yeah, you got us 2 guards. We appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for that. And I've heard people donate like millions of these things, and they don't even like invited to games.
Right.
Really?
It's like, yeah, you're like lucky to do this.
No way that happens.
Yeah, that has happened, yeah.
Like Mark Cuban with IU? Is that what you're saying?
No, I think Mark Cuban could do whatever. I think he's donated a lot to IU pre-NIL and everything. But yeah, it's just like kind of viewed as just a transaction. Like, yeah, you were paying for 2 of our wide receivers. Thank you. Do I get anything? You want to pay for quarterback?
You got to pay for them again next year so they don't transfer.
Yeah, it's like these boosters, I don't think they really get much in return. Like some of these places, I think we heard there was like special access and everything like that. If you donate, I think like $10 million or something like that.
You get the premier gator hunting package.
Oh yeah, you can definitely get a gator. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I did not hear that at LSU, but I do believe there is an opportunity to get in a great gator hunt.
Yep.
You get in a good gator hunt down there. Plus, get your name maybe on the back or the bottom of a seat somewhere in a stadium outside of the stadium. Like that is kind of how it's viewed now. Is like super transactional. Do you want to help your school or not? You do. Thank you. We need $175,000.
Yeah.
For what? This guy's a good tackle. Is he playing this year? No, he'll be playing next year, but we're going to need you to pay him again next year, too. It's like, what do I get out of it? We can give you a parking pass at the practice so you come watch this guy. He's not going to play during the games. Okay, so you see him at practice.
Okay,
$175,000. And it's like, how many uber wealthy people are out there that are just like, yeah, nothing in return, not even a tax write-off.
Yeah, sure.
Everybody says like, oh, it's a tax write-off, it's a tax write-off. A lot of these people have no idea what tax write-offs are, and they have no clue how it works. And what are you actually getting back? Tiny amount, tax write-off, tax. This is not even that. It's just like it's
a donation.
Is it going to a charity? Are they building anything? No, it's a guy.
Yeah, this guy's gonna play 100 snaps next year.
Building the offensive line.
Okay, did you see what happened to our quarterback? Your buddy over there is paying. Ask him how much he's paying. He's paying for a quarterback. You don't think we need to protect him? We don't. And then they just got to do that again next year. And we thought that ruling was coming. It wasn't a ruling.
Yeah, no time soon.
It was the first day of. It was the first day of trial. Basically,
they need that ruling.
Yeah, and that ruling's nowhere near.
Well, and a lot of the donors, they started getting the head coach position and the offense. Not actually, the offensive coordinator position was just named after that person. Soon
that was like $30 million or something.
Soon
like that.
Soon it's gonna be like the Mark Ruffalo quarterback, Dylan Raiola.
Legit.
Which would be sweet. The Incredible Hulk quarterback. How long do you think it'll last for teams like Ohio State where it's like a legacy wide receiver? Like, hey, you go to Ohio State as a wide receiver, you following all these incredible guys. Like, do you think that has any legs anymore?
Like in negotiation?
Yeah, negotiation.
Saban was able to get, I think, a deal.
Yeah, like a traction, like for high school kids.
As long as Heartline's there, it'll be there.
Yeah, like I want to be the next great quarterback at.
I think that's all in your NIL negotiations.
Okay.
But like Indiana's going to have to pay top dollar, I assume.
For sure.
Like for their guys, they're going to find their guys. They're going to have to pay top dollar. There isn't like a negotiation like, hey, you come get a lot of exposure, you build your brand, we do this. We have proven track record. They have had 1 year. You know, like Kurt Signetti can sell like Google me, I win. Certainly real, especially amongst people. But if there's competition with Ohio State and everywhere else, like the bag is possible huge. In Ohio State, I think you do sacrifice some money probably for a national championship is probably what they're talking about.
Yeah.
Hey, we're in primetime every single week. Literally a noon game every single week. Not allowed to be on at night.
Yeah.
Okay, which is a wild scene over there.
Yeah.
Texas said, we're not doing that. We're not doing Sunday
Shut
night.
up.
Oh, yeah,
Okay,
we'll give you
we're
the night
staying
game.
noon. Okay, Ohio State. Ohio State's like, so we're the biggest draw. We're the best team. But because the TV deal that our conference has, we have to play at noon every single Saturday. That's right. This is the new prime time. It's like, well, what about our fans? Like, you don't think our fans want to have like a full
get boozed up all day on Saturday?
have a night game? You don't think we want to showcase this place at night?
September when Mercer comes to town. Sure.
We'll see. Maybe another deal will be done in the future where maybe you can get a night game. I don't think so. It's pretty crazy in that. Speaking of crazy and college sports, President Charlie Baker of the NCAA says March Madness expansion could come as early as next year. That would be the goal to try and do this for next year. We've been talking about 72 or 76. That's via David Rumsey, via On3 Sports, via Charlie Baker having a press conference somewhere. Shout to On3. They do a great job on top of literally everything. Isn't March Madness figured out?
Yeah.
Perfect.
Don't they have
Literally
it?
perfect.
64, nice and clean. The bracket works perfectly. I mean, well, it's 68, sorry. Even the play-ins we've accepted is nice now. Yeah, I don't understand.
We got to figure it out. This is just like whenever the NFL was talking about changing the playoffs. It's like, yo, you got to figure it out.
Yeah.
You found it. This is the right one. College football playoffs, they got to figure it out still.
We're almost
No
there.
doubt.
They got to figure it out still. But it's like March Madness has been figured out. 72, 76, okay, maybe a 76 seed will be able to go in.
That'd be sick.
You maybe 70, maybe on the bubble there would be very pissed.
Yeah.
You know, the 90th ranked team in the country is going to be pretty pissed it didn't get in March Madness.
Yeah, that's stupid.
They're in the bubble. They're in the dance. It's like, I think we got to figure it out. Charlie Baker, I believe, has a good brain.
Yeah.
We've had a chance to chat with him. This one just, why you got it. You already figured it out. You guys dominate everything.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you add a couple more time slots on that Thursday, Friday, where you can start games at 11:45 p.m. now too. But it's like it'll always be the same thing, and the scale will always slide. Like right now, the teams who don't make it in, who are on the bubble, are pissed off, and the easy, like devil's advocate is like 68 teams are making this. Like you got to just be a little bit better, and then you'll get in.
West Virginia got screwed.
They did this
They'll
year.
get in, they'll get in next year.
Yeah, they'll
Did they
get
get
it,
screwed?
but it's like the same thing, and then you move it, and then now the team that's 77th, like they're going to be pissed off. It's like you got to win to get in. Period.
West Virginia did get the Neil Brown of basketball, like Ross White or something.
Ross Hodge.
Coach
Yeah,
Hodge.
There it is. Yeah.
Have a little respect for Ross Hodge.
Yeah, my bad. It translates to Neil Brown.
North
actually.
Texas, great.
Same amount of letters.
Heather Dinich, she's reporting that Lane Kiffin said, just get the best 16 teams possible. Screw them all. All right, next hour on the other side. See you then. Goodbye. Bell Sessions, who got here at 3 a.m. this morning, was the winner. Her ticket was pulled, and you thought to yourself immediately, what, Belle?
I knew I couldn't do it, and he was next to me, and he said that he could. So we're splitting it.
Okay, so Belle Sessions made the decision to talk to my man, Henry Silver, who Henry got here yesterday at 6 p.m. He's been waiting for this moment. Now, Henry, you told her that you could make it. Why do you think that's the case? Have you ever kicked a ball before?
I've kicked a ball before. I've played soccer my whole life. I think I can do it.
This kick is for $150,000. You said you would split it in half, right? Okay, so let's make it $200,000. If you make it, you will both get $100,000. Where are you from, Henry?
I'm from Fishers, Indiana.
Who's your favorite NFL team?
The Colts?
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Come on, bro. Hell yeah. To hell with the Falcons. That was rude. They didn't deserve that. I like that. Henry, 33 yards, $100,000 for you, $100,000 for her, $200,000 to hurricane relief, $400,000 on the line. Henry, are you ready?
Of course.
Have you ever said anything bad about kickers?
Of course.
Shut up. Let's go. Now, here in Athens, Georgia, it would be beautiful if $400,000 would be up for grabs. Why don't we double it because the Georgia Bulldogs. So, $800,000 kick right here, Henry. But what I want to let you know is you're not getting a second opportunity. I don't care if this entire place starts chanting for a second kick. One kick, 800,000 racks, 400,000 to hurricane relief, 400,000 to you two split, 200 grand each. Henry Silver from Indiana for Belle Sessions. Let's go, Henry! Oh my! Henry! Henry! Come in, buddy! Come in! Right down the middle. Let me see this. Let me see this, Henry. That was amazing. I mean, he walked in like, Henry! Congratulations, Henry! Congratulations, Belle! Dude! Congratulations, Georgia! What a morning! College game day's the greatest! College football's amazing! Belle, you just won $200,000. You're
The following program is a collection of stooges talking about happenings in the sports world. It is meant to be comedic informative. The opinions expressed on this show do not necessarily reflect the beliefs of their peers, their boss, or ESPN. There may be some cuss words because that's how humans in the real world talk. If you are young, please seek permission before watching any further.
Hey,
Why?
let's go.
This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You pig! Damn it! Your friend tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Game 5 Thursday, May 29th, 2025. Hour 2 of the program begins now. Sports are happening all around us. Two teams have punched their tickets to their respective finals. Congratulations to the Florida Panthers going to their third straight NHL Stanley Cup championship, and they're looking to go back-to-back. And congratulations to the Oklahoma City Thunder. They have the MVP, had the best regular season record, and now they are in the NBA Finals, awaiting their opponent who will play this evening. Will it be the Indiana Pacers, who are up 3-1 against the New York Knicks, tipping off at 8 p.m. on TNT, live from Madison Square Garden. And in hockey, who will the Florida Panthers play? Will they play the Edmonton Oilers, who have Connor McJesus up 3-1 over Texas Hockey's Dallas Stars? That game, 8 p.m. on ESPN. So if this one becomes a little bit of a runaway, like last night's Oklahoma City, Minnesota Timberwolves game. Know that this game's going to be good. That is what these sports have been doing for us. Our game each night has been great.
Yep.
So you just got to flip back and forth, figure it out. Good luck to all teams. The Pacers could punch their tickets tonight, as could the Oilers, and the Stars and Knicks could extend these things and say, not so fast, my friend. Shout out Lee Corso. The Toxic Table's here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. Whenever the hammer,
Dahn.
Cowboys, AP Tone. You look thin today.
Thank you. That's the all black.
Yeah, oh yeah, I know, brother. Oh yeah, I know what you're saying. It's not a bad play. I think you look good. Cowboy hat looks good too. It's a straw one.
Yeah, it's that time of year.
Oh, warm weather.
Yeah, past Memorial Day. If you can feel it, you can chase it.
Shout out to Ram Truck.
Well said,
man.
I believe.
Actually, tonight, if you can feel it, you can pace it.
Yeah, and the Knicks are gonna feel it.
Yeah, they are.
Because the Indiana's gonna pace it
all night long.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is a man that sets the pace in every room he's in.
Yep.
He's been a college football national championship winner. He's been a Super Bowl winner.
Wow.
He's been a Ryder Cup winner.
Jeez.
Father of 10.
Yeah.
He's one in life, this guy. Ladies and gentlemen, Ohio's finest, AJ Hawk.
Yeah,
Yep. Oh. Joe Flacco was spot on by the whole mentorship situation. He handled that question beautifully. I know you covered it in the first hour, but credit to Joe on that one.
If you missed it, here is what AJ Hawk is talking about. Joe Flacco, for the second year in a row, is now being asked about, hey, are you going to teach these younger guys how to be NFL quarterbacks? Here's his answer.
It's a talking point. You can kind of use it because it's a good question to bait somebody into answering, and no matter how they answer it, it kind of makes the guy that's answering it look bad. If I say I don't want to be a mentor, I look bad. If I say I do want to be a mentor, then I look like an idiot that doesn't care about being good and playing football. So it's one of those questions that no matter what I say, you guys can write what you want to write about it. And there's a lot of questions like that. That's why you end up having to try to avoid them. I tend to try to be honest. And I've said I'm not a mentor. I play football. And in a quarterback room, there's a lot of times there's been a ton of times where there's learning experiences, and I have a lot of experience, and I can talk on things, and hopefully they listen. But it's not necessarily my job to make sure they listen to me. And hey, hopefully you have a really good relationship with the guys that are in the room, and you naturally want to do that, But that was a long-winded answer, but that's ultimately why I think you guys ask it.
Let us ask about it.
Here's the thing is, because of what I just said, you're acting like I wouldn't want to be a mentor. It's once again, it's not really about that. It's just not the main focus. I see myself as a guy that can play in this league. So if your main focus was just hey, but I'm going to get you ready, you're just not taking care of business. The best way to be a mentor, honestly, is show people how you go to work, and like I said, hope that they pick up on that stuff, but not necessarily force them to pick up on the things that you do.
Yeah, so you said he handled it perfectly. I think in the middle of that, a Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar exploded on my desk.
Yeah.
So that's on me. That's what you heard, a little bit of a reaction there. I tried to crack the top of one of these delightful
so good
Dr. Pepper Zeros. Get a little juice, but also some great flavor, and it exploded. Because I guess it's been rolling around down here for the last couple of days. That's 100% on me, Age. We kind of interrupted what Joe Flacco was saying. But yeah, whenever you talk about gospel, that feels like the perfect way to handle that situation. And I love, and I mentioned this in the first hour, that one of the reporters was like, on that note, yeah, let me ask about it. So you're not going to be a mentor? Will you just tell us the answer? It's a tough position, especially in professional sports, AJ Hawk. And it feels like Joe just explained it perfectly for a lot of vets.
Yeah, I think he explained, and he helps out for people in the future, because this will continue to get asked by vet quarterbacks whenever there's a younger quarterback that they think that, I guess, I don't know what people think a mentorship might look like from a starting quarterback or from a guy that has experience to someone else. But yeah, like Joe said, okay, it's not, I can't make them listen to me. I can't make them do anything. They're adults, but they can watch me. If they want to see what the process is and what my process is and ask me questions, I will answer everything, I'm sure. Like, basically they should say, hey, are you going to be a dick to these young guys or not? And Joe is not going to be a dick to these guys.
Did you have to do that for linebackers, Hawker? Like, was there anybody that you were kind of the seasoned vet in the locker room for? And I assume you just didn't help them because you're a mute, but were there any points that you had to do that?
No, I mean, there wasn't any time when I like specifically was or felt like it was my duty or what I was supposed to do. But anytime especially a linebacker room, like you have guys coming in and out of that room weekly, like especially during the season, you're signing and trading guys away and getting rid of dudes all the time. So there's always new people in there. But yeah, I felt like the whole room was a very collaborative situation. If anyone ever asks you a question about what you should do, or hey, what are you looking at here on this play? Yeah, then you tell them exactly what you're looking at and give them some advice. Tell them, hey, when I got in the league, this is the old guy that I looked up to, or I kind of bugged with, hey, how do you watch film? What do you do? What's your process? It's all that stuff, but it's not something where they get, here you go, you are a mentor now. You got to take this kid under your wing. Like, that doesn't work that way.
To everything you just said, like Adam Vinatieri for me, I just watched him. You know, like I just watched him, ask him a question, not only on the field, off the field as well. Like, I think that is a big deal, handling a lot of things that come your way whenever you become a professional athlete. Now, granted, these younger guys experience it at a lot earlier age, so maybe they have, all the answers, which I assume they all feel like they do. And a lot of young guys feel that way to begin with going into the league. And, it's those who humble themselves that are willing to ask the questions. You can try to be a coach or a mentor for some of these guys, and they might not listen anyways. So if you were to give effort into something that isn't your job, isn't what your legacy is going to be, because you feel like you're doing right, and then that person doesn't even listen, it's like, why'd I spend any time away from my job to do that? It's like Vinatieri, I was so lucky to be able to watch him work. And then through watching him work, it's like, oh, I could probably apply that to me. I could probably do that for my thing. Watching Peyton's nowhere near being a part. Watching him work, Dallas Clark, Gary Brackett, you go through that entire crew of people, like watching them do their thing. Joseph Adai, I remember watching the way he got ready before a game one time, and I was like, oh, that's a good idea. I feel like something I should probably do. Like, those are the things you do. And it's the coach's job to coach the strategy, the technique, the culture of the place. It's the player's job to be ready for it. But if you're an older player, obviously you're going to be leaned upon in certain situations, especially from younger guys, if they're willing to ask. That's a big part of it. Willing participant in the entire mentor-mentee part of it too, AJ.
Yeah, I think that's something, I guess, that a vet can do early on, like without being a douche, let the dude know and be open with him and say, hey, like, I don't want to sit here and give you a bunch of unsolicited advice. Like, that you don't need that. You're already swimming. You got a lot going on. But if you have any questions, feel free to ask me, and I will tell you exactly how I feel about the situation. Like, I think that's more of what it really happens, I think.
Well, and you guys have talked about, like, off the field, after your first season where, you have all this time for the first time in your life, and it's, basically 6 months of stuff where you can do whatever you want. But when you do first come into the league, how much of that, like, game day preparation and pregame stuff, like, how much does that actually change? Like, did you do the same stuff at West Virginia? Did you do the same stuff at Ohio State that you did in the league, or was that just like a completely different than pregame routine?
AJ, for me, it was vastly different because I kicked, punted, and kicked off at West Virginia, so I had to figure out what my new pregame routine was. And also, the NFL pregame schedule is different than what college is. For me, I need field. So when is the field open? I kind of had to figure that whole thing out through my pregame. So I was watching, figuring mine out as I got to the NFL. I also didn't know how to punt, really. So I was also trying to figure that out as I went. So I was open to suggestions. For you, is pregame warm-up normal for linebackers? Because I know you guys go indie, you kind of do your warm-up, hit thump drill, then you do like shell almost, it feels like. And then is that kind of the same everywhere?
Yeah, it's kind of a similar pregame situation, like as far as warm-ups, I think, at the linebacker position. But in the college, you don't have as much freedom. When you get in the NFL, you have a little bit more freedom on when you show up, all of that stuff, when you can go out. But pregame, that's more also like you got to figure that out for yourself. Like, yeah, you can watch guys and see what they're doing, but you also need to do what works for you. Like, I didn't like going on the field ever before. I didn't ever want to go. I hated like the pregame. Now, you as a punter, like, you need to be out there, and quarterbacks are out there throwing to receivers, but linebackers a lot of times are out there just trying to get some good camera time. That's what they do in pre warm-ups, And so I just hated warm-ups. I wanted to get to the game.
Shirt off, we're jogging, we're bopping, headphones on. That's the pre-game. There's a lot of camera time possibilities out there. I almost murdered Tim Tebow during that time.
Whoa.
Oh.
Yeah.
That would have been a deadly sin.
Yeah, I agree.
With the football?
Yeah, because that pregame, that's when the field is most open. So, like, trying not to kill people is a big part of it, especially teammates and people that are playing in the game. Like, you'd never want to be like Justin Tucker situation, Travis Kelce, and them. Never want to be in that situation. Like, that is not a situation you want to be in because I don't know. Oh, trying to have respect here.
Yes.
But granted, if I got a hold of one, that thing's going to go a lot further than I thought it was going to go. Tim Tebow, probably 75, 80 yards away from me, far sideline. I'm in the back of the end zone, just kind of warming up, hitting a few, My guy Sam's catching him, running all over the field. Great athlete, local football coach. Became a ball boy, quick manager for the Colts a long time ago. Stuck around just to catch punts in warm-ups and at halftime because he was so good at it. Him and Pac-Man actually got into it one time because Pac-Man was trying to catch my punts in warm-ups, which is a great advantage, and I think it is illegal, and he used to send elbows or whatever. But it's just me and that guy basically out on the field, and I caught one. And that thing must have hit a jet stream, and that thing is going beelining for where Tim Tebow is doing some shit down the corner. My guy Sam's sprinting right at him. There was almost like a full collision, yelling like "4," like that type of thing.
It's like golfing with a group in front of you.
Yeah, even worse though, because if he turns his head, we only got a few seconds. That's almost hit him. Buzzed the tower right next to him. I'm telling you, that thing was tight. That's coming. That would have been
the good news is
that would have been a knockout.
Yeah.
That would have been a full knockout. And it was Tim Tebow. And I just went to the other end, started punting back the other way. I was like, we're good here. I think I figured out what the wind stream is, where we need to go. But, yeah, that pre time is a lot of scattered people, and that was big for the kickers and punters. That was when we got our time. Now, granted, that's an hour and a half before the game. So, you got to stay warm now.
Yeah.
So what the hell am I going to do? I got to
warm up again.
Yeah, warm up again and again and again and again. You didn't like all the bullshit shenanigans beforehand, huh? You just want to get that thumping.
Like a 40-minute warm up is just not, especially when it's a game. It's game time. Let's go play. What are we doing?
Did you take first bus, second bus?
I was second bus actually.
Wow.
I like to hear that.
Because I didn't go out early. I didn't want to go out early. I would get to the locker room, put my pants on right away, and then kind of sit there and do my thing.
Let's talk about some of the changes that are happening around college football. We talked about Heather Dinich's tweet at the end of the first hour, how Lane Kiffin said, I don't want the automatic exemptions. So what? You won the Super Duper Cup and the Big Do. I don't care. The Big Do.
Sure.
I want the best 16 teams in the tournament, period. I don't care about automatic qualifiers because you won your conference championship. If your conference stinks, you're the champion of those who stink. You're not supposed to be in the actual tournament. Now, Lane, I appreciate you going to bat for this. I appreciate you saying this for your conference. I appreciate you saying this because you feel like Ole Miss should have been in last year. And if Ole Miss was in last year, I think Jackson Dart's stock through the roof even more going into the NFL draft and everything like that. The issue, Lane, here is getting the 16 best teams. How are you going to figure that one out? How are you going to figure that one out? Especially now that we know that there's a chance that teams are built differently due to the climates in which they're going to have to play, in the style of football in which they're going to have to play. A Big Ten team can't be built like an SEC team because it becomes negative 15 degrees. And you can't just have 4-2, 4-3, 4-4 everywhere. You got to have some SUVs out there.
Yeah.
You're going to have to play some tackle football. So how do you judge what team's better? You can't just go off of speed. You can't just go off of size. You can't just go off of, common opponents because everybody's going to lay an egg or two throughout an entire season. Even the champions lay an egg or two throughout the championship. So you can say, well, look how they played this week. Well, that was a bad week for them. So how are you going to compare what a good week is, a bad week? Is this when they're playing their best? How often have they played their best? And are they going to be able to play in the cold, which you're going to have to do in the college football playoffs now, or you just run fast? If that game's in the South, I think Tennessee a little bit different than Ohio State.
Yeah.
But you got to go battle against a team that has to be built like a bunch of SUVs, and all of a sudden something happens. So I think it's going to be impossible to figure out who the 16 best teams are, let alone the 12 or the 4. So I think that's probably never going to happen. But to be clear, Lane, we all would like the 16 best teams to be represented in the tournament. It is kind of, I just want to let Lane know, I apologize, or I agree with what you're saying, but I'm sorry to say, I don't know if that's ever going to be possible. I don't know if that's ever going to be possible, especially with all the factors that can come into play, into all the different arguments, because everybody truly believes what they're saying.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody. And it's like, how do you find that out? I guess you got to put some parameters on it. You win your championship, you get in. Congratulations. You're one of the 16 best teams in the country if you win your tournament or whatever.
There's a ton of talk right now, and a lot of it's because of SEC media days, and a lot of the SEC coaches and Commissioner Sankey is talking a lot right now. There's talk like where there's going to be 4 automatics for the SEC and Big Ten, and then 2 for Big 12 and ACC, and then the next 4 or whatever. Yeah, and then there's a 5 plus 11 model, which seems to be catching a lot of steam, where it'll be the 5 highest the 5 conference champions. They automatically get in, and then the next 11 at large. That one seems to be like it's catching a lot. Feels like it's going to go to 16. I know it was supposed to go to 14 or whatever next. It feels like it's going to go straight to 16.
Yeah.
But the 5 plus 11 is getting the most momentum right now.
We need a no boo-hoo rule.
Bingo.
Okay.
In everything?
Everything, but especially this. Because guess what's going to happen when we go to 14?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, we were ranked 16th. We should have been ranked 14th. We should have been in. When we go to 16, that March Madness thing really grinds my gears.
Me too.
I think it's transferring over now to the college football playoff because, when's it going to stop? Because guess what? Okay?
There's 3 good teams.
There's 3 good teams. Shut up and win your games, okay? Oregon
3
lost.
great teams. Sorry, 3
great teams.
There's
Yes,
3 great teams.
It goes to the Super Bowl conversation we have in the NFL. Hey, there's there's 32 teams in this league, and at the beginning of the season, all 32 can win the Super Bowl. No, not true. There's 8 teams that can usually win the Super Bowl every year. 10 maybe if it's a great year. College football is very similar, if not even smaller. Like every year in college football, Indiana, that story is awesome. And I loved every second of it. Game day at Bloomington was one of my favorite days of the year. Getting to watch that environment, seeing the photos from the year before to what it was last year, that transition, so cool. But at no point throughout the season was Indiana a real contender to win the college football playoff. I'm sorry. I don't want it to be true. I think the Indiana football Hoosiers
They had Ohio
so
State
cool.
in that first quarter. They drop a punt. They had a fumble during special team play.
Bingo.
They had you guys on the ropes in a horseshoe.
They played a football game. Yeah, football plays happened in that game.
All right. And then what
decided
happened?
the outcome. You're right.
What happened? The 5 stars that they have on special teams, this was the conversation after the game. The 5 stars they have on special teams are much better than the Jimmies and Joes, me and Ty, on kickoff and on punt team. Okay, that's why Caleb Downs ran it back untouched without anybody even near him. So the whole entire, hey, we need to keep expanding. Hey, we need to fix the ranking. If Ohio State was ranked 12th last year, they would have went on to win the college football playoff. Now, if they lose a few more games and they don't make the college football playoff, and Ohio State people are bitching, hey, our schedule was harder, we would have won the college football playoff, maybe win your games. Hey, shut up and win your games. And that should be the message that Lane Kiffin. I love Lane Kiffin. I think the Lane Kiffin thing with Feinbaum is comedy.
No, he's past it.
Yeah, past it, but he still won't share his real thoughts on the Feinbaum show. So awesome. I think it's the coolest thing ever. I think more coaches need to do it. Kirby Smart, the way he handled it as well, unbelievable. So amazing. He's just sending all of that beef to his own players. But when it comes to the bubble teams, they're going to be mad. They go to 14
Well, the
teams.
SEC saying it's impossible for us to win all our games. Everybody wants us to win our games. Come play the schedule we got to play and come win your games.
Yeah, Lane Kiffin, guess what? It's not impossible to beat Kentucky at home. It's not impossible to
there's a couple losses
to beat Florida on the road.
But that's the thing so you listen to Saban, Coach Saban talk about what the coaches are saying. It's like some of these teams are going to lay an egg some weeks. Like that's going to happen. In the SEC, you lay an egg. They're saying you play Vanderbilt could even get you.
They were good this year.
Yeah, that's what they're talking about.
I know that's what they're talking about. But dadgummit, I don't care. Go out and win your damn games, all right? Don't lay an egg. You know what separates the good from the great? The amount of eggs laid.
Bingo.
Ohio State laid 2?
Yep.
Oregon, Michigan?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, they played pretty good at Oregon, I don't even know if you could say that's because that loss I don't think hurt. Like the Michigan one for sure. I don't know if the Oregon loss really hurt them that much.
I guess it just hurt the conversation about Will Howard.
Yes.
That's Will Howard's been put on show. I heard on the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Boy, is he. We don't need to get there right now. But
we don't need to get that.
Yeah, but Will Howard also, he knows where the spoons are made.
Now that the seating has changed and it's not
Joy Taylor is a Pittsburgh girl. People forget about that. She's from Pittsburgh. She's a Steelers fan.
I'm trying to get him going.
There's a lot of people going at Joy Taylor. Joy Taylor's like, what are we doing here? We're the Pittsburgh Steelers. She's from Pittsburgh. Same high school as my mom, actually. So she double O D Y. Woody High. Same high school as Gronkowski.
Yeah.
And obviously Jason Taylor. Like that is she's a Steelers fan. So I saw a lot of people be like, he's not even on team Joy. Joy's like, I know. Why are we acting? What's the entire So we don't need to get in it. But Will Hards, he does know where the smoothies are.
Yes, he does.
To your point,
He does.
he knows where everything already is in Pittsburgh. But to that point, Ohio State 1 is an 8 seed, but now since the rankings are, it's just going to be ranked by where you are by the committee, 1 through 12 or whatever it is. It's not going to be, hey, you're going to be the 13th ranked team but get a bye because you won your conference championship. Will an 8 seed or lower ever win again? It's a good question. Probably not.
Yeah, everything's changing. Everything's evolving.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Good luck to all parties making it great. Whoever solves the college sports thing 10, 15 years from now, congratulations.
Like Elon Musk level of smart.
Yeah, I don't know who that person is. In Sankey, as we wrap up this college sports conversation, Greg Sankey at SEC Media Sessions, I don't know if you heard his response to the Big 12 and the ACC putting out press releases basically at the same time saying, we're worried about the good of the game. And then Sankey goes, I don't need lectures from others about the good of the game, okay? Or coordinating press releases about the good of the game. Amongst other things he said there is, I need answers. Okay, I don't need more problems. And whenever you talk about good of the game, it's like, do you know how much we invest in football? Good of the game. Do you know how much we love football? Good of the game. Do you know how much we have given to football? Good of the game. I don't need to hear this nonsense about good. You don't think we care about the good of football? Football is our religion down here.
Yeah.
So I love it, Sankey, starting to be like, enough. Because now you're going to start seeing Petiti, Big Ten.
Oh, yeah.
Sankey start taking a
It's
little
all good. It's all good for football. I think it's great for football.
I think they're going to start taking a little bit more ownership, though. And I think that's naturally happening with the way the contract was signed over the next couple of years, too. And it's like, if Petiti and Sankey are to take on college sports, it's like, I think that's not a bad duo to be doing it. And this is coming from a guy whose school is in the Big 12. It's like those two seemingly figure things out. And those two seemingly make sure people are invested in the sport that we love. All right, let's move forward. Hockey has one team already clinched in the Stanley Cup Finals. Congrats to the Florida Panthers. 3 straight finals. Now, who will they play? Will it be the Oilers or the Stars? The Oilers have a chance to end this Western Conference Final tonight, starting at 8 p.m. on ESPN. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us now is a guy who won 3 straight Stanley Cups, 1 with St. Louis, 2 with Tampa Bay. He's called the Big Rig because he's big, and he hits you like a truck.
Hell yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Patty Maroon.
Patty.
Yeah. What's up, boys?
How you doing, brother? Do you know much about college sports? Did you catch the tail end of what we were talking about there? It's chaos there, brother.
I don't know nothing about college football. I watch it a little bit because I'm a big fan of football, but I don't know nothing about what's going on with the seeding and all that stuff. So seems like it's a headache.
Yeah, quite a headache, I think is a good way to describe it. And then it's not just the seedings, it's NIL. There's a bunch of money coming out of pockets that nobody knows. And teams it is chaos, but the sport itself is wonderful, as is the sport that you obviously played and still play at a very high level. Patty, let's talk about tonight. Do we think Connor McJesus and the boys punch their ticket to the Stanley Cup Finals? You think Otter stands on his head tonight? Gumpy seemingly believes that the Stars tonight are a lock. What are your thoughts on tonight's game? What should we be looking for, Pat?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think Dallas takes Game 5 tonight. I think,
we do.
With Connor and Leon, I know Hyman just got hurt. That's a big loss for Edmonton, so they got to fill some holes there, and they've been doing a great job with depth. But I think Otter's got the net tonight. I think Dallas steals Game 6. They've been playing great. I thought dominated the first period in Game 4, but Edmonton comes out of the first period up 2-1. But Edmonton is playing a sound game hockey right now. They're playing stingy hockey, so you never know, though. It seems like they're playing great hockey on the road, but the one thing I'm concerned about with Edmonton right now, their power play on the road hasn't been that good.
Okay, so I might have misheard you, but I think you just said Dallas wins this one and steals Game 6. You think this is going 7-game series. Is that good for the Panthers or not good for the Panthers at this stage to have the amount of rest that they're going to have? Seemingly good, right? But I guess the convo goes both ways.
Yeah, it does. I think Florida with some rest, you can see Reinhardt and got hurt. He got pretty banged up. There's some guys banged up in Florida against the Carolina series. So I think West is a weapon right now for them. It would be fun to see the rematch. So I got some guys and friends over at Edmonton right now that I'd love to see Stanley Cup. So I think the rematch will be great for the game.
Go ahead, AJ.
Speaking of that rematch, let's say Edmonton closes this thing out, and we see a rematch. for Edmonton fans, what do you think is going to be the plan for this team? I guess if you're watching Edmonton, how is this going to be different than last year? What can Edmonton do to find a way to beat the Panthers in the finals if they get there?
I think one for me, going through that tough loss. Florida was the year before, going through that tough loss, losing Kachuk, their key players, losing to Vegas. But I think their experience now, they have more experience, they have more depth. I think for me, they're a well-rounded team more. They're not just relying on Connor and Leon to do all the dirty work. So I think for Edmonton to, close out this series and go against Florida. Florida plays a simple brand of hockey. It's north-south, get it out, get it in, back down your throat kind of hockey. So they have to stay patient, Florida's going to stay patient through a 7-game series. They're not going to be, doing anything crazy. They're going to be stingy. So Edmonton's got to be careful, managing the puck, doing the little things that's going to make them effective. So, I want to see the matchup because I like some guys over at Edmonton. And I hope they can have an opportunity, get that Stanley Cup over their shoulders. So it's going to be a hard series for them, both teams. It just seems like Florida right now is a well-rounded oil machine, and they just don't quit. No matter who's in their lineup or who's hurt, they find ways to get it done. It's not a pretty brand of hockey. It's just simple brand. So it's going to be hard to beat them.
Yeah, and Gumpy back there saying, yeah, keep talking about the Oilers. Yeah, the Oilers. He thinks the Stars about to mount a comeback. Don't you think, Gump? It's not dead. They're not dead yet.
Just need Rantanen to turn into Superman again and Stu Skin to go back to who Stu Skin really is.
Stu Skin's on a little bit of a heater right
He is
now.
on a heater. We can't beat him.
You can see the puck. Hey, you went to 3 straight Stanley Cup finals, obviously won them. The Panthers now 3 straight. They're looking to go back-to-back. Wear and tear at this stage, everybody's tired? Is that just kind of the thought? Or is 3 extended seasons something that can catch up to everybody?
Yeah, I mean, you need bounces too. I mean, you're going to be tired at times, but I think when you go through these deep runs, the most importantly thing, everyone's kind of healthy. You'll have wear and tear on your body, but the more you keep competing, they got some, like I said before on the show, they got some new pieces at the deadline. They're kind of amping them up a little bit. Bring some energy back in that locker room. And when we went back in Tampa for our 3rd straight and we lost to Colorado, we just ran right into injuries. We lost Braden Point, we lost Anthony Cirelli, but eventually it's going to catch up to you. But it seems like Florida right now is they're all healthy. They're running gun right now. They're playing great hockey. They have their goaltender, which is the most important thing. You need a goaltender to move forward, and he's stepping up when he needs to. But they're a well-ordered machine, like I said before. I mean, it seems like they just don't give up. They're dogs. They're like dogs on a bone right now, and it's fun to watch.
Yeah, and Bob's a dog as well, in between the pipes, obviously. They're ready and excited to win another one. They bring a guy in mid-season who has championship pedigree and seemingly fits them perfectly. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, Patty, Brad Marchand has fit right in with the boys on the ice and off the ice. It feels like I've seen the new tradition now where after every win, they're just shooting rats at Marshy, Kachuk and Barkey. They're doing it. Is that something that just happens every long playoff run? And I know hockey players are very superstitious. Is this something that just is something that's a part of the hockey culture?
I would say it's part of the hockey culture, and everyone's superstitious in hockey, especially during the playoff run, especially when you go on a deep run. You'll find things like that. That Marshy, he's a big goofball, man. He's a great guy, and this is the shit he does. So for me, I think it's all superstitious, especially when you keep rolling in the playoffs. Everyone's got a weird routine. They probably have something with another player or multiple players. So hockey players dive deep into that superstition thing during a long, deep run. We're some weirdos, that's for sure.
Yeah. Feels like you guys are around each other a lot. Have to get along. Feels like that team certainly does that. What a tradition, just getting rats kind of just rattled off at you.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 pow. Get out of here. What a great group. What a tough group. I mean, legit, an absolute tough group. They just had their way with the Canes. Canes had one game there where they played how we thought they were going to play. Everything else was kind of a disaster. Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Big Rig. It feels like it's the same, story with the Canes every year. Brendan Moore and them have a great regular season. This year was kind of weird with the whole Rantanen trade, but how do they get over the hump? It's hard to make changes to a team when you go to the conference finals, but they've lost. I forget what it was. 1-16 in their last few conference finals. How can a team get over the hump? How kind of devastating is it to lose like this again, especially when it comes to the Florida Panthers? And are they strictly going to build their team now to compete with Florida, or what do they do this offseason to maybe make a real run at the Stanley Cup next year?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is what Florida had and what Tampa, Vegas. They're just bigger, stronger. They're fast. They're heavy, in your face. It's kind of that prick mentality, always in your face. And it just seems like Carolina doesn't really have that pushback that a lot of teams do. And that's what they've been running into trouble with, the last couple of years in the conference finals. They don't have that. I don't know. It seems to me they have to add those gamers, those game changers that can push them over the edge. It seems like they don't have that right now. They don't have any dogs that really get them where they need to be. I don't know if it's on the coaching staff or it's, to me, do they need to change their system up, their D zone up, because they do play a man-on-man situation, as you can see. Olaf's got him right there, and then Robinson kind of cheats. So they're playing a man-on-man situation there. So when you have that, that's his guy, and then all of a sudden a breakdown happens, and then it's in the back of your net, right? So maybe they have to change that up a little bit because they can eat up a lot on that. Man-on-man teams you can kind of create some offense with that. So, but I think just more depth, more toughness. They can create more. They have the zone time, they have the shot volume, but I think guys that can hold on to the puck. Guys that can change the game a little bit, change the series of a game too. So it's going to be an interesting offseason for them.
Yeah, you talk to people down there in Florida, they think they're the state of hockey. Go ahead, Ty.
Yeah, Patty, are you kind of surprised when you look at the success that the Lightning had, and then now obviously the Panthers? We saw the Panthers have a beautiful new facility, no state income tax in Florida. Is it kind of crazy that Florida has kind of become the epicenter of the hockey world? And do you anticipate that it's going to stay like this for a while?
Yeah, I mean, the no state income tax is obviously a game changer for a lot of players now in the NHL. Obviously, Vegas and now Florida, and now Florida's going back, and you can probably get some guys on a nice deal, but wherever, if they're going to Toronto and they're making $12 million, they might as well just take $8 in Florida. So I think Florida's going to be the new hotbed, especially in the NHL. Everyone's going to want to play in Fort Lauderdale or Sunrise, Florida. Everyone's going to want to come to Tampa. It's great living. Families, you can raise families there. So, and look at what they're doing now. I mean, look what the Panthers are doing. Look what Tampa did. I mean, it's just everyone wants to be a part of it now, and especially winning cultures. I think what you build in a locker room is the biggest thing for me. I think everyone's building that now, and everyone's seeing it. And everyone's kind of got away from the toughness, and Florida went back to it, and now look what they're doing.
Hey.
So it's just a weird thing now. Some team wins the Stanley Cup, it's speed, and then when a team wins with toughness and grinders and guys that just are dogs, then it goes back to it. So it's it's a weird situation on that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, because the Pittsburgh Penguins are in a spot right now where we got to flip our entire team. Can you flip a culture? Can you get a culture back? Obviously Tampa was able to do it quickly, and then the stat about them going to 3 straight Stanley Cup Finals, being a team that hadn't made it for the 25 years prior. What is you said culture in hockey, with the way the contracts are set up and the way free agency is kind of limited and the way the draft is and everything like that? Is it easy to just flip a culture? How does that go about happening, you think, as somebody that's been around a lot of great hockey cultures?
I mean, no, it's not you're not going to switch a flip like that. I mean, it's going to be hard for them because to me, it takes time. It takes time. It takes pieces. It takes key guys that maybe won before kind of can set the standard to everyone else that they're around. And it also starts with good guys, good teammates. You don't want any bad apples in your locker room either. You want to weed those guys out that are probably distracting your locker room and that guys are probably annoyed with. So you want to try to there's a fine line with that. So to me, you got to continue like with Pittsburgh, they got a culture, they got the best player, Sidney Crosby, they got Malkin, they got Letang, they got the pieces to kind of, pass the torch here in the next, hopefully 5 years. Hopefully Crosby plays for a long time and Malkin and all those guys, but they already have a culture there. They already know what they built on. Crosby's won 3, so they have it. It's just now working in and entering the pieces that are going to fit their culture and, perform on the ice. But culture takes a long time because you lose people, you lose free agents, and then you have to build it back up again. And it seems like to me the teams that are hanging on and doing the most are the guys that just hang around their teams the most and not going to free agency, signing with the team that they're just with. So, and that's how you continue to build this thing. And that's why Pittsburgh was so good. And then you just kind of add the pieces that you need that are going to get you over the hump.
Yeah, when you think of the Florida Panthers, you just think that's their culture. Yeah. And then they get Marchand in there. And then for your Tampa Bay team, the run you guys had, thought the same thing. It's like, hey, they're big, they're fast. Whenever you have a culture that's nationally recognized, I think that's what you're shooting for.
Yeah.
Especially for a good one, not an ass one.
Right.
Yeah, you don't want to be known for an ass culture. That's not good at all. You talked about Florida with no state income tax being quite a treat. And Kachuk told us it's nice to go golf too. I mean, just got a beach here too. I go to the beach, got the whole thing. I'm like, maybe you're going to get too soft. Don't worry about that. We're hockey players. We'll be able to handle it all. How's that heat though? Tampa was 1,000 degrees. Tampa was 1,000 degrees this past weekend. You guys just hibernate inside. How do you deal with that as a new Florida man? Legitimately.
I'm on my patio right now, sweating my, what off right now.
No, I don't know what you're sweating off.
I'm dying. I might go jump in the pool right now. But I think with like Florida too, like we saw them driving their golf carts to the practice rink, it's just fun living. We have golf carts here. We all live on this island where you can drive around the golf carts, and there's restaurants, and there's bars, there's everything around. So
we live there too. We lived on that island as well. Yeah, we know.
It's just easy living. I think that's what attracts players too. You know what I mean? Families with kids and school districts. It just obviously state income tax. You're making more money, but I think, that's what it's just easy living for them. And you can see that they're having fun driving their golf cart to work every day. You got to be enjoying life a little bit with that.
Yeah,
no?
you would think the elbow room would do too much damage to a team. Yeah. But instead, it's somehow empowering these boys. I don't know what that's all about. Connor,
the elbow room.
Yeah, what a place. Connor has a question for you.
Yeah, Big Rick, you mentioned having friends on Edmonton, and Corey Perry, I think you played with in Tampa when you were trying to three-peat. I'm not sure how many straight, but if he doesn't win the Stanley Cup this year, do you think the NHL will just carve a ring in his name because it feels like he's never going to quit until he wins one, and it feels like every single year he's losing the Stanley Cup final in devastating fashion?
I know that's the one person I got the chance to, as a rookie, get to play with him in Anaheim, and just a true competitor. A guy that loves the game of hockey, treats his body like a temple, and he's still playing at a high level at 40 years old, which is really impressive. And he's the type of guy that can help that Edmonton's locker room right now. He brings that energy, that passion, that leadership that they were probably missing there, and that obviously devastating loss for those guys. But I can see Harris kind of pushing that team. That's the type of guy you want building your culture. Guy that understands it. He's won before. He's been in the league for 20 years. But I'm pulling for him right now, man. I truly believe I need Corey Perry to lift that Stanley Cup because beating him when we were Tampa, when he was Montreal, and then watching him lose with us. I beat him twice, Dallas and Montreal, and then he came to Tampa and lost.
Jeez.
And then it's just a devastating. So I need that guy to retire a happy man.
How many
beers? He needs one more.
How many beers Perry be able to house, you think? You think he's been waiting for that glorious Lord Stanley chug? Maybe he takes down all 7.
He could.
Maybe he fills that thing to the brim and takes it down to down the hatch.
He's for sure taking home a case or maybe more. And you can funnel in a couple shots, maybe some champagne too. So
you guys putting shots in the top of Stanley and Lord Stanley?
No, but I'm just saying you might mix in a shot here and there and then drink out of it. But yeah, we've mixed a lot of vodka in there and a lot of champagne. So you got to do it all.
Okay, so we got like a, vodka soda up there in the top of that thing?
No, just like straight vodka.
Hell yeah. Russians. A lot of Russians.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I forgot about the culture, the Russian culture, maybe, with the vodka straight to the head for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And, oh, yeah, we won the Stanley Cup. Take it out of Lord Stanley's top. Go ahead.
To add on to that, I saw an insane Corey Perry graphic on the internet. Oh, there it is. Yeah, right there. Since 2000, 230 playoff games.
Who's there?
Yeah.
Is that the Pittsburgh Penguins?
That's a crazy stat. I mean, guy.
Get the guy a cup.
I mean, get the guy a cup. That's for sure. And he's performing at the best I've ever seen him at 40, and he just needs it. He's playing great hockey, and I just need to see that guy. And I just want to go to his cup party. I want to drag his coattails.
Yeah, nice little public call for him. I hope he wins. Yeah. I also hope some other guys win. I hope everybody wins. You know, I'm on your side. I'm on TV now. Thanks for coming through Monday Night Raw on Monday. That was good to see you.
Oh, hey, thanks for having me, Pat. That was unbelievable. My son was having so much fun that night. It was a blast, man. It's so entertaining. I think it's the best sporting event we got going on right now.
How old's the boy?
16.
He's a big lad.
Oh, so Little Rig's a big rig.
Yeah, Little Rig is becoming a big rig, I believe. I don't know how long he's been there. He was a large lad. Handshake, too. We're talking mitts. Mitts in this entire thing. It's insane, isn't it? Tom Segura, who at one point in his life, like 5 or 6 years ago, buried wrestling as a whole. Had never been to a wrestling event, buried wrestling as a whole. I can't get into it. On Monday was his first time at a wrestling event. I got a text from him afterwards. I was like, that was the most insane thing I've ever been a part of. He was like, I had so much fun or whatever. You go to one of these things, it is madness. Absolute madness. A madhouse.
It's madness.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's madness.
Yeah.
I know. Tom was telling me the story because I was sitting right next to him. He's like, I think WWE hates me. But he's like, I love it right now.
I think he had a good time. I think he did great out there. Bert, obviously, has been a couple times. He chokeslammed somebody the last time he won. Waka Flocka Flame.
Sure. That was awesome.
Was there. That was insane. It was a cool night in Tampa. And you've been great on our show. We appreciate the hell out of you, Patty.
Hey, thanks. You've been great to me. So thank you, guys. I appreciate it. I got to come in the studio.
Yeah, you backed out on us because you got a newborn. So
grow up.
Yeah, I don't know, but
I got to grow up. I'll go tell my wife.
Patty Maroon. Yeah, he came to Monday Night Raw with his boy, and it was good to see him.
He's big.
Big.
Yeah.
Big. I was like, I turned around and I was, how old? Because I shook his hand. It was when I came out, so I'm in the middle of a bunch of stuff to get to Cole. Good to see you. Good to see you. Tom's there. Boom, boom. I don't think Walker had got there yet, but I was sitting down. The lights were going off. And I think to myself, like, who was with Pat? And he turned around. I'm like, how old is that thing? He's like 16 or whatever. I'm like, Jesus, he is huge. He is a large man. I assume he plays hockey?
Probably.
Has to.
Feels like he plays hockey, if I had to guess. We should have asked him about the International Super Duper Cup.
Yeah, we'll get to
that. The United States of America won. You remember that, AJ?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yes, I do. Everybody remembers.
Yeah, how could you forget?
Everybody saw it live.
I mean, I watched the Super Duper Cup. I also watched Jalen Ramsey basically put out to the world that he's going to be playing for a different team. He put out a series of tweets that basically said, the false narrative's either lame or funny. Don't let it faze you. Wish well and blessings among them all anyways. This for anyone who needs it, by the way. Finish the week strong. Love y'all for real. Did need that. Mm-hmm. I did need that. I appreciate you, Jalen.
Good message.
And then he says, I'm grateful for each and every chapter so far. Every part brought me to a greater version of myself. Regardless of how things ended, the journey has been love. God is the greatest. Obviously, Jacksonville, Los Angeles. Now he's at Miami. For the record, by the way, I've loved every city I've played in and the fans who supported. The anger is very misplaced at times, but sometimes valid too. I understand that. But real ones, though, the intention's always solid. A new chapter awaits. He said, the anger that is sometimes had with me for whatever reason misplaced. Sometimes I get it. Okay, I might not have been perfect, but it feels like he thinks he's moving on from the Miami Dolphins. Miami Dolphins seemingly think he's moving on from the Miami Dolphins, but if you listen to Schrager talk to us yesterday and then other reports, his price tag, $20 million or whatever it is going to be a hang-up for a lot of these negotiations. There has to be a lot of teams that are interested in Jalen Ramsey. How interested are they at this point of the entire calendar? plus trying to figure out maybe deals with their own guys before training camp. How many teams have 15, 20 million available this year? I wonder what the move will actually be here for Jalen Ramsey. And inevitably, does he stay with the Miami Dolphins because he can't go anywhere else? Doesn't sound like that's in his plans.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like that at all. It feels like this is going to be one of those situations where Jalen Ramsey is going to get traded for like a 5th round pick, and every single team is going to be wondering why. How does it work with
and he gets traded because they're picking up his contract.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to say. So could you offer a higher price so that, say there's 2 teams competing, like, hey, we'll actually give you a 3rd, but you have to.
Miami has to pay?
Yeah, you just eat it.
That's all a part of the contract negotiation. I mean, that goes back to the Denver Broncos situation.
Yeah.
Where the Denver was just said, we'll pay all this to get him out of here. And then there's other times Jared Goff was traded to the Detroit Lions because his contract was so big, nobody else would take his contract. The reason why they got so much in return is because they took Jared Goff's contract with how big it was at the time. They have since given him a much larger contract to eat up the salary cap because how much success it is. But the negotiation of who picks up the tab is certainly a big part of veteran free agent trade or veteran trade.
Yeah, because there's been, since Aaron has not signed with the Steelers, there's been a lot of speculations about Kirk Cousins, and a lot of the articles and stuff like that are all talking about how the Falcons have not been willing to pick up any of his salary for the next season if he is to be traded. So that's potentially why he also has not been traded yet.
Okay. I don't want to bring it up, but I'm bringing it up.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
Yeah, I mean,
who are you talking
Who
about?
are you?
I'm talking about John Cougar Mellencamp.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that.
I am.
I'm not talking about John Mellencamp. Shout out John Mellencamp. He can feel however he want. Pink House.
Yeah.
You and me.
Exactly.
Sorry, I read that wrong.
Yeah. I was talking about Aaron. I was going to ask him about Aaron. I was going to ask him about Aaron Rodgers. That's what I was going to do.
Yeah, I mean,
because I thought you said.
Yeah.
I'm like, whoa.
Tony.
To Aaron.
No.
Are you feeling the same way as some Pittsburgh Steelers fans are feeling about how, hey, we're the Pittsburgh Steelers, bub. You're treating us like we're the Sacramento Cardinals. Like that is how some Pittsburgh Steelers fans are acting. And some Pittsburgh Steelers fans, I think Joy Taylor gave a good indication of this. Some Pittsburgh Steelers fans are like, hey, Pittsburgh Steelers, what are you doing? We're waiting around for a guy? We're just waiting around for a guy at our quarterback position? We're the Pittsburgh Steelers. Like that is how a lot of people in Pittsburgh feel that this is kind of all ridiculous at this point. Because everybody that speaks about the Pittsburgh Steelers says Aaron Rodgers is their quarterback. He is not on a contract. He is not signed with the team. He has not said he's going to play next year, but everybody, including insiders, reporters, journalists, I think we even kind of just assume that it's a foregone conclusion, but it's definitely not a guarantee. How should that conversation go, you think, AJ? Because I think a lot of people forget that he has not come out and said he wants to play for the Pittsburgh Steelers, has not come out and signed a deal to be with the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's been really nothing from that front about, hey, yeah, he's a Steeler, but that's how everybody's just kind of treating it. He's just on vacation. He's doing a rum springer. He's just kind of living his life right now, taking care of the people in his circle. He's going to Mike Stud concerts. He's shooting water guns. He's doing interviews. He's talking to Rogan. He's going to be a Steeler, though. That's how all the insiders are talking about it. And Pittsburgh Steelers fans are like, well, we're sick of fucking seeing them squirt water guns because the rest of the Pittsburgh Steelers are trying to figure out how to win a fucking game. That is how the Pittsburgh Steelers fans feel.
I couldn't have said any better.
Right? That is literally how you guys think.
Yes.
Okay, but that's not Aaron's fault.
No.
No, it's not. Aaron,
you're right.
I guess could have come out.
He was very upfront at the beginning.
To everybody. Yeah. Even on our show, he's coming out. I'm not going to be able to go to OTAs, whether it's because of want or not being able to because of other things going on in his life. So I don't want to do the whole song and dance that happened last year whenever I missed 2 days out of 100 days worth of work, and it became this massive ordeal. So it's an interesting dynamic that is currently taking place with one of the most storied franchises in professional sports history, one of the most diehard loyal city fan groups, and then one of the greatest football players of all time, all kind of coming to a head. And I don't think anybody really knows the answer, AJ, about what's going to happen, but everybody assumes the same thing, that he's going to be their quarterback. How do you feel about it, AJ?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we all do, just naturally assume that he's going to sign with Pittsburgh, but everyone just doesn't know when that might be. But what if he doesn't? What if he doesn't play football this next year?
Exactly, which I think is still possible, right? Definitely. Isn't that still possible?
Yeah. I think everything is on the table. Anything is possible, no question, especially with Aaron. You know that. But, he never has he given us any indication that Pittsburgh's where he wants to go?
Kind of,
or where he could go.
I mean, that's
kind of the only spot left.
He did that panel thing or whatever he was doing up on stage this weekend in front of people, answering questions and stuff like that. And he said somewhere along the lines of like he could go to a team that would play the Chicago Bears because he was asked if he would ever play for the Chicago Bears, and he kind of hinted at the Steelers a few times. I mean,
he met with them. He went there in the white Malibu. Like that entire thing,
He found his way to the facility somehow. I'm not sure how he did.
Yeah, he didn't do
He
that.
was doing some research. He played catch with DK Metcalf. I mean, he's doing a lot of research. It feels like if he plays, it's going to be for the Steelers.
Yes.
Right? It feels like if he plays, it's going to be for the Steelers. But everybody's just acting like he is playing for the Steelers.
Yeah. If you think people in Pittsburgh aren't happy with him now, if he doesn't go to Pittsburgh,
Oh no, I think they'll be okay with that. I think they're just tired of playing just the tip with him. You know.
Well, it hasn't even been that, right?
No.
Because he's been a butts out hug.
Yeah,
An ass out hug.
not even smooching.
Yeah, not even smooching. It's been one of these. It's been one of
You're
those.
right. You're 100% right.
just the noses.
Yeah, you think you're doing?
And
Oh, you think they're sniffing around?
sniffing butts, yeah.
I don't know if they're a couple of dogs sniffing butts.
That's how it feels.
No, I don't. I just don't know.
I mean, he's giving them the runaround.
He's not giving them a runaround. He's trying to figure out what he wants in his life. Everybody in Pittsburgh's been told he's playing for him, though.
Yeah.
If he's playing for him, let's fucking do
Everyone
the
in
thing.
Pittsburgh feels like they're getting a runaround.
Yeah. Steelers getting the Caboli treatment from Rodgers.
No.
Yeah.
Caboli's in there, pounding the pavement. He's not getting a runaround anymore.
But you remember he did get the runaround, and maybe Rodgers saw that and said, "Oh, you think you're just the Pittsburgh Steelers? You can give people the runaround? I'm gonna give you the runaround."
Caboli's going to tear 2 Achilles covering your team, and you're going to just give him the runaround, make him walk around more? That ain't fair.
No.
Mike Tomlin goes, "Yo, we're trying to get him to do action."
Yeah, you think
Thomas Morstead is signed with the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah, Thomas!
Thomas Morstead, punter out of SMU, first with the New Orleans Saints. Then he bounced around a couple different teams, most recently with the New York Jets. Has signed with the San Francisco 49ers. Mitch Wishnowsky, Aussie punter, has been their punter for a long time. Thomas Morstead drafted same class as me in the 4th round. A man who taught me how to punt. A guy who said he will punt till his leg falls off. He kindles a relationship with Brant Boyer, who is a special teams coordinator at the New York Jets, now special teams coordinator for the San Francisco 49ers, assistant coach there for the San Francisco 49ers special teams, Colt Anderson.
Okay.
Your guy.
Colt Anderson, my guy. He was my personal protector for the Indianapolis Colts. I appreciate him. He was last with the Tennessee Titans as their special teams coordinator. Now he's an assistant with the San Francisco 49ers. Thomas Morstead's been around the game a long time. Thomas Morstead's been very consistent. Thomas Morstead is a jugs machine. Thomas Morstead is now a member of the San Francisco 49ers. Congrats to them.
Yeah.
Congrats, Thomas. I don't know if he'll be the punter on the team. I have no idea if it's competition. I don't know what happened with Mitch Wishnowsky. I do not know.
Is Mitch still there?
I don't know. I have
No,
no
I
idea.
think-
I thought I saw something
Yeah, he got released.
Yeah, because
So Thomas Morstead, punter for the San Francisco 49ers?
I'm pretty sure, yeah.
All right. He'll be old. I mean, he will.
Yeah, steady Eddie.
it's got Andy Lee vibes to it.
Andy Lee used to just absolutely demolish footballs. He used to swing so hard. He was a country boy, I believe, from South Carolina, went to Pitt. Yeah. Then he ended up with San Francisco 49ers. He would drop the ball so high. I have no idea how he did it. And then he would murder that. There was a time Shane Leckler, Mike Cyphers, Andy Lee were all punting for the teams in California. So obviously, Leckler was with the Raiders. Andy Lee was with the Niners. Cyphers was with the Chargers. And they were the 3 best punters in the league. By far, no questions asked, and they just murdered footballs. Thomas Moore said vastly different than Andy Lee's style. Vastly different style, but I think he'll be good for that team, especially with Saleh going back. He was his head coach, right?
Yeah.
Whenever he was at the Jets. Yeah. So punter is a defensive position. Congrats to him. Did you see what happened with Oregon? Did you see what happened with Oregon?
Oh. With the decommit?
Yeah, I don't like the way they gave.
Tough.
Sad.
I don't like Coach getting a run around here.
Yeah,
he's got.
You can't do this. You just can't do anything anymore.
I don't like Coach Lannon getting the run around here by some 18-year-old. Now, I know Richard Wesley is a 5-star edge, but this video of him decommitting to Oregon came 2 days before the decommitment.
Oh.
I think is the way it was reported. Hey, what's going on? I guess it's time to make a decision. 5-star edge, this guy gets to the quarterback. He goes, why don't we do this thing live? Do it into a pool. Super cool.
Let's get it.
Coach Dan Lanning, let's do this. Takes his shirt off, jumps in the pool. Woo! We're doing it.
Let's go.
Let's go, dogs. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, oh, He did the whole thing. Did the whole thing. And 2 days later, I'm not doing it anymore.
Yeah, Coach couldn't swim.
That's a tough world.
This stuff can't be happening.
Not the Dan.
No, exactly, because now he just looks like an asshole.
He's
And
a dog,
He's never
too.
going to do something like that again. But you have to.
Has to. Remember when the coach had to send a voice memo singing Justin Bieber?
Singing Biebs.
Tom Herman.
Don't do it. Can't have it.
There's no point anymore.
Had to be the kid's idea, too. Hey, Coach, here, let's jump in the pool.
And my commitment, I want to jump in the pool.
I don't think it was Dan's idea, no.
Okay, cool. I'm in. Dan says, sounds good. I'll do it.
Let's do it, man.
Dan, get a 5-star edge. We got it. Uncle Phil, going to be paying?
Yep.
We're ready. Jumps in the whole pool 2 days later. I'm not going there.
Your cannonball sucked.
You put your hands over your head. Not over your
He was kind of an in-between, like can opener. He didn't really know what to do.
He was just
hands at the head.
I wonder, he might have a popped eardrum like me, because when you jump in a pool, sometimes you need to make sure the ears.
Possible.
Yeah, it could. I don't know. We want to let Coach Lanning know we don't like this. And Oregon's a great spot to be. Got a chance to travel up there. Beautiful part of town. Obviously, their facilities are insane. Their football team's great. I can't wait to see where old Buddy goes. I don't know if it's going to be better than Oregon. I don't know if you're going to get a coach that's going to do that for you just on a random Monday. Yeah.
Rich Rod?
But maybe you will. I don't know if Rich Rod's doing that, but I don't know if we're Oregon yet either. We'll see you tomorrow. Be your friend, tell a friend something nice. Might change your life. Nailed it. Right to zeros.
Damn.
Yeah, Rich Rod, I don't know if he's jumping in a pool.
I hope not.
Yeah. I'd like to see a recruit ask Rich Rod, though. That'd be nice.
I would like to see a recruit. If they really want to get Coach Rod zeked up, say, hey, extra 20 grand in my NIL, I beat you in pickleball. He would love that. He would absolutely love that. He references pickleball in like 4 or 5 different conversations, interviews that he has. Like, for instance, there might be pickleball, and I'll fucking beat your ass in that, but I can't. I think he thinks he's really good at pickleball.
Yeah?
I assume he's very good.
Does he have a rating? I know guys have ratings when they play a lot.
When I was chit-chatting with him a good bit there, right after he went back to West Virginia, his house down in Alabama has a full lit-up pickleball facility in the backyard.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think he's fallen in love with pickleball. So if one of these recruits was like, all right, you're saying you'll pay me 50 grand. Let's make it 75. I'll beat you in pickleball. I think he'd be like,
Deal.
That's a hard ass.
that is what we want. That is what we are looking for. Hey, you give me an extra 10 grand, jump in the pool with me? You should go somewhere else.
We're pulling you off.
And then he goes over to Nebraska and he goes, Matt Rule, hey, I'm thinking we jump in the pool. Matt Rule goes, you need to go ahead and get the hell out of
Get
here.
the fuck out of my office.
I fear that this type of shit's going to be happening for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, that April 15th, we thought they were going to get a ruling. We thought it was over. It's nowhere near over. It didn't even start. They had the first, all right, this is how we're going to do this. We're going to sit on this side. You're going to sit on that side. Judge will be there. Okay, we'll lay out what we say. You lay out what you say, and then we'll figure it out.
Yeah. Do that now.
There's a meeting about the next meeting. That's what it was. Like, in football, sometimes you have a meeting talking about what the next meeting is about. That's like what they're starting.
Yeah. Whenever you guys get your stuff too, send it over. We want to double check that. We'll send it over to you.
We'll reconvene in a year.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys
2 years.
here. 16, 17 months, maybe?
Sounds good.
Is there any end date? Is there any date in time? Like, is there anything in the near future?
Who would benefit from that if it was to go forever?
I don't know. You think the bigwigs that running the thing?
Oh, the lawyers.
The greedy corporate fat cats?
The lawyers would benefit
A
from
lot of
that.
billable hours. A lot of billable hours.
Especially the amount of shit they got to look into. Yeah. Man, there's so much stuff we got to look into.
Been working around the clock 7 days a week.
New wormhole.
That's just the thing. Well, we can get this done in 6-7 months. Whoa. What are you trying to do?
No, we can't.
What,
You're trying to kill us?
Working three times as hard?
Billable hours. Who's paying for this? Nobody? No, nobody. It's just institutions and things that just get a bunch of collection of money. Oh, so nobody personally is feeling the effects of these billable hours? No.
Okay.
Don't we got to look into employment stuff? Oh, yeah, definitely.
Good point.
Actually, I need you to help me. You need an under. Okay, we got through the one half of this. Now let's look at the other side of this, too. Yeah, you're right. We got to. This thing's going to go. It's never ending. Mm-hmm. It might never end.
Yeah.
The holdup right now I'm reading is roster limits, so they're going to.
Yeah, that's one of the holdups.
Yeah, one of the holdups.
There's only one holdup right now, and then once that holdup is finished, oh, we got another. I'm bummed out. I thought in April we were getting an answer.
Yeah.
I thought we had a $20 million salary cap coming. I thought it was already kind of slotted. People were already preparing for it. People were already offering their NIL deals up front so that they can get them ahead of the scholarship money or the team roster money. That was all happening. Everybody we were talking to was like, hey, there's a ruling coming from a judge in California. April. It's going to get it all sorted. And then April comes and goes. We're like, well, what happened there? They're setting a table.
Yeah.
Well, when are we going to eat? 2045, brother.
Yeah, long time.
Never going to happen. All right, let's take a break. Quick one, because on the other side, we have a living legend joining us. A man who just does this with a lacrosse stick. Just natural. I think he was, maybe came out of the womb doing this one right here.
Yeah.
Boom. Boom. Maybe one of these. Boom.
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 Some BTBs.
Yeah, he's going behind the back. Yeah, he's big trick bag.
Yep.
Yeah.
He does have a big trick bag.
Yeah, he does have a big trick bag.
Yeah.
Yes, he does.
Yeah.
Feel good about that. He's currently waiting right now. Bud, we got to piss. So we need just 4 minutes or so. Chase Frazier of the champion Buffalo Bandits of the NLL. A human highlight reel will join us on the other side. Be a friend, tell a friend something nice that might change your life. Take 5.
The legacy of this great sport and the World Heavyweight Championship belong to me.
This particular WrestleMania will be one that Jey Uso will remember for the rest of his life. You feel it? It's Housing! Gunther taps out! Jey Uso's world champion, Gunther, tapped out. You did it, Jey. Gunther tapped out. Jey Uso winning his first world championship, tapping out the ring general, Gunther, who for the second year in a row at WrestleMania lost to a massive underdog.
I'm sick and tired of YouTube. Michael, if you got something to say to me, tell me right now.
Look, I'm doing my job. I'm not the one who tapped out.
Go close your top What is it?
Gunther has been fined an undisclosed amount and suspended indefinitely.
I think there's a lot of people that have forgotten who the hell I am. You must ride for those that ride for you. You're either with me or against me. You got a problem with Cole, you got a problem with me, Gunther. I want to fight Gunther ASAP.
We can lift the suspension on Gunther in a sanctioned contest at Backlash.
Deal.
I'm going to show up more focused than ever before. I'm going to maul you. I'm going to grab you by the hair and drive it into this mat.
You've gotten jaded. You've gotten too damn comfortable. It happened with Sami Zayn. It happened with Jey Uso. And on Saturday, you're going to underestimate me. And I'm going to prove to you and all these people that this version of Gunther is soft.
Only the grace of God can lift my arms off your throat.
My partner and friend, Pat McAfee, steps into the ring to face the ring general, Gunther. He's going in there against a very vicious in a very violent man.
Enough of this, end the match! Michael Cole has left the damn desk, you absolute nutcase! Sleeper locked in deep on the ring general! Gunther now furious, completely enraged. That is over. A rare show of respect. Matt McAfee, that was absolutely incredible.
Hey,
What?
let's go. This show stinks, and the fact that you listen, we are very, very thankful for it.
McAfee on the line with a gorgeous assist.
The all-time leading tackler for the Green Bay Packers. You ping! Damn it! Be a friend, tell a friend something nice could change their life. Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to our humble abode, the Thunderdome, on this Game 5's Thursday, May 29, 2025. Hour 3 of the program starts now. Sports are happening all around us. That's AJ Hawk right there. What up?
Baby Hawker.
The Talks the Tables here at Boston Connor and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the Hammer, Dahn. Cowboys, AP Tone is here. And joining us live, ladies and gentlemen, is a man who's a three-time NLL champ, a one-time PLL champ. He's obviously the reigning champion with the Buffalo Bandits in the NLL. He also plays for the Chaos Lacrosse Club in the PLL. Ladies and gentlemen, the human highlight reel, Chase Frazier.
Yeah, Chase!
Yeah, Chase, we did it! Yeah, we did it!
Let's go.
Woo! Is there a cup in the top of that? Are we drinking out of that thing, or are we just holding that?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's a big cup. It gets filled up. Our rally's tomorrow. So we got the whole city of Buffalo coming out to the Alumni Plaza out front of KeyBank Center, and we're gonna get after one again.
Okay, so have you guys won? I should have done more research. Congrats on being the NLL champs. It's been fun to watch the Buffalo Bandits do their thing. You already know Dion Dawkins in his videos led us to the environment. I think seeing your highlights has obviously been spectacular. We'll talk about that in a minute. But the Buffalo Bandits fan base, rabid. Is it like that in the entire NLL? I'm just learning of the NLL right now, Chase, through you. I want to let you know that.
Awesome. Glad I could bring some light to the NLL for you because it's great action, great sport. But as in for fans, there's really no place like Buffalo. It's like Bandit Land. There are some places. Colorado gets a good number. Calgary gets good numbers. But for the environment and what it is, it's Buffalo and Bandit Land is the place to go. I think like it was our average this year was 17,000. I think on average, had 5 or 6 sellouts, which is 19,070s, and it's an incredible place, man. The people are just so passionate about the sports and about our team, and it's an incredible thing to be a part of.
17,000 average is nothing to sneeze. That's gigantic. That's huge numbers. Congrats to you and Bandit Land for putting on for the NLL champions. How many games in a season? Because I just saw the tail end here with you just doing your shit. And you do that every game? Tell me about... You're a human highlight reel. I mean, every goal that I saw, the first one was so filthy. Yeah. I sent it over to Connor. I was like, what is this? What am I watching here? Box across, whole different thing. And then 2 days later, you pop up again. Then again, it just felt like we were seeing you every day of my life doing something so filthy, so sick. Was this the first one? I don't remember if this is the first one or the most recent.
Yeah, that was the first one this year. But to answer your first, there's 18 games in a season, just like an NFL schedule, and then you go to playoffs, which is first round single elimination, second round 3-game series, and so is the finals. But yeah, that was the first one this year. But it's just part of my game. I love it. I love just being creative, throwing cool stuff that no one else really kind of does, and kind of grew up with that knowledge of your stick has eyes, and there's a lot of different angles that you can see. And with these goalies being so big as what they are, and the nets being small, is that you got to find different ways to score. And at the level that we play at, it's sometimes you got to be stupid creative and pull off some stuff like that makes myself shake my head sometimes.
Okay, so you don't think they're all going in either as you're letting it out of your stick. I respect and appreciate that. So when you go
full honesty, no.
yeah, transparency, we're hoping. We're certainly hoping it's going in.
Yeah.
That area with Timmy Hortons there, nice double-double. You're not allowed to step in there ever. The goalie has the crease. You're not allowed to touch it, even post-throw.
So once I take off, the ball has to cross the line before I land, but into the crease. But once the ball breaks the goal line and hits goes in the net, it's you can land and be in the crease.
Net much smaller in this, right, than the PLO?
Yeah, so the PLL is 6x6, big nets, creases I'm assuming are the same size. But yeah, it's a bigger field, 6-on-6. Defenders got 6-foot poles, and with this is just men just beating the living bricks out of each other for fun.
Yeah, is that what the NLL is? That's what I've kind of learned. The NLL seems to be much more physical because it's much more compact. Is that an accurate depiction of the differences between the two games?
Oh, absolutely. There's straight up fights, like hockey fights, like guys square up and throw hands, and it's like street fights. It's kind of, gloves come off. I don't know if you guys saw the one that, I'm sorry to do this to my teammate, but at the beginning of the year, we had he was the one who got knocked out in one of the big games.
Yeah, I think we saw that.
Yeah, in that. And I was the guy who actually got laid out that started that whole kind of thing, and he stood up for me. I love Belter. He's a buddy of mine and a real good friend, and just feel sorry to bring it up. But yeah, that's part of what it's all about.
Hey, Belter, I know we're celebrating a championship here, but we do have to go back in time to showcase the sport here. For the betterment of the sport, there are knockouts that are possible. I fell in love with the NLL. I think that is my brand of lacrosse. It seems to be much faster. And if you're just going to keep doing your shit, I think I will obviously continue. 17,000 average, AJ. Go ahead, on you.
That's awesome. Chase, so with all this, how creative you are around the net, with this behind the back, through the legs, all this stuff, I guess, was there ever a point in your career where you were a young kid or whatever, where you were attempting these shots and they weren't going in, your coaches were getting super pissed and tell you not to do this anymore? Because I just feel like you have to be ultra confident to try this every time.
Absolutely. Like growing up as a kid, I was always having that, let's just say, ADHD out the ass. Like, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I'd pick the ball up as the coach was talking and just be like doing one-handed stuff with it, just throwing it behind my back, and half the time I'd usually hit my coach or hit somebody. But like, started at a young age, and spent a lot of time in the backyard with my brothers playing, doing that too. So it was just, I was practicing, and then in games definitely we get yelled at for pulling it off, especially in high school. And then in college, I ended up having the same coach as I did in high school for my senior year, and he gave me a lot of free rein with it. And then, but the coaches I've had, sometimes they understand me. Like JT, he gets me. He understands the creativity and how my brain just kind of works a little bit differently than your average kind of athlete, and just gives me the reins and just tells me to shoot my shot, just be myself, which is awesome.
It feels like it works out. I think you should continue to shoot your shot for the good of the game, because we're enjoying the hell out of all of it. Now, you talk about coaches getting you. There's a chance you might be on a new team. You're Canadian, I do believe. You're Canadian?
Yeah, I'm from Western Canada, Langley, just a small town outside of Vancouver there.
Oh, over there in Vancouver.
Great place.
Yeah, right
Great
by Victoria.
Yeah,
Just across the water, brother.
We have some friends over there in Saskatoon as well. Saskatoon, yeah, Victoria. Yeah,
Medicine Hat.
Yeah, we know the area pretty well over there.
Calgary
we understand what's going on over there. But that comes to there's about to be a pretty big international event that the world will be talking about. Go ahead, Tone.
Yeah, there is, Chase. I just assume you're going to be on the Canadian team for the Olympics for lacrosse. I don't know how those tryouts or whatever work out, but you play in NLL and PLL. Do you have an advantage since it's going to be kind of a combination of both? And are you pumped to win silver in the Olympics?
Maybe even bronze. Bronze would be good too. Bronze would be good too.
Sweden's
tough. That Sixers event, and if I get selected for that team, it would be an absolute honor, because like that whole creativity with how fast that game goes would really be an advantage to my game, and would be able to help Team Canada win that gold. I did 3 years in the PLL. No longer play in the PLL. I played just summer ball here for the Allegheny Arrows. It's a senior B team out on the reservation down here in Buffalo here. And but advantage, yeah, absolutely. I think Canadian guys got a way bigger advantage for going from box into that field sixes type, because it's the box kind of atmosphere with the speed of box, but bigger nets, so every guy can throw some crazy stuff and do that. And Canada's just full of a bunch of ballers, so.
Okay, yeah, so is America. Let's
not about ballers.
Yeah, so the Cursed family is obviously Cursed family is ready to do their thing. You talked about being on the reservation there. What's the name of the tribe there?
Allegheny Allegheny Reservation. That's where I played for.
What's the casino up there in that area?
Seneca One. I was actually dinner there last night at the Seneca Creek Casino here.
Yeah.
They take good care of us.
Yeah, okay, so I've been there, yeah. You and I have eaten in the same world, brother, up there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And the native is great at lacrosse, right? Kind of their sport?
Oh, that's it. That's the native. That's where the game came from. It's the medicine game from them. They gave it to us.
And they're doing one hand. They're doing the shit you're doing, right? They're like,
just Google Lyle Thompson and some of those guys, and even one of our teammates, Dale Gananacoke. He's nasty. He's got those silky mitts that just some of those things that inspire me. It's just their creativity, which is you just build on it. It's an amazing sport, and every player has their own kind of twist on it, which is amazing.
Because I've been told for the Olympics that the native team, if they are allowed into going to be very good.
Yeah, they'll win.
They will be probably the team that wins. Then obviously,
their game.
Yeah, it's their game. Yeah, exactly. But they have to petition, I think, to have a team in the Olympics. Yep. I think for the good of the Olympics, they should allow that.
Yeah, the IOC usually makes the right choice too.
Yeah, that's kind of their thing.
Yeah.
That's kind of their thing. You agree, Chase? Obviously, you agree.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Then the United States team, problematic.
Yeah.
I mean, just rough shot. And then that Canadian team right there, I think like fourth or third, they have a chance.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe really getting in
Japan's
there.
got
I think the last sixes event at the World Qualifying Games, Canada won gold, and I think it was a 10 to 12 goal differential, by the way.
Oh, and the who cares games?
Weird.
Yeah, we don't remember that. Let's get back to lacrosse, shall we? Go ahead, Connor.
Yeah, Chase, you play in the PLL and NLO. Is that common? You know, we saw Pat Cavanaugh sign with the San Diego Seals this year. Is it normal to kind of do both? You also mentioned that other team you played for in Allegheny. Is that kind of the season, those three teams? And do you have beefs that kind of cross over? I know your Chaos coach, I'm not sure if he was your coach while you were there, is an absolute lunatic. So did he kind of do the problems cross over between the two leagues? And do you tell guys in the PLL like, hey, when we get back to box, I'm gonna beat the brakes off you?
I like that.
Do that here.
I like that.
So there was a little bit crossover within the couple of years. Like I was never able to make it to camp because we were in the finals. And all that, so the crossover, but there's understanding with that. But like getting back into the box thing, yeah, there definitely is that. Like there was that thing going around being PLL tough because our Chaos team was full of a bunch of box guys and all that, and it's a different atmosphere. Yeah, they said that fighting was good, but if you took your helmet and gloves off at times, there was a more disciplinary action to that. And with us, in the box lifestyle, it's you kind of want to, you need to take your helmet and gloves off to settle it. So yeah, there was a couple instances with that, and our face-off guy, Connor Farrell, actually, he played in the PLL as well against us, and he was playing for the Chrome at the time, and did a pretty greasy pick on one of our face-off guys. Ended up, benches kind of got cleared, and Ian McKay on my team here, Dane Smith and Josh Byrne, we were all on that Chaos team, and ended up kind of getting into an altercation with him, like a massive line brawl with Connor Farrell, and it was just like, oh, you're PLL tough, like all that kind of stuff. But Farrell's, he's a monster. He's a wrestler. He's a big face-off guy. Now he's won the last 2 championships with us. It's just like yeah.
I like the pretty greasy move descriptor of something. I'm going to start using that as my own and give you no credit. I apologize. That's a pretty greasy move by old buddy. Everybody understands exactly what you meant there. And then you saying, oh, you're PLL tough. That sounds like that is certainly something that is said by the NLL boys, if I had to imagine. I want to let you know that for me, as I'll call myself a casual, I enjoy the sport of lacrosse. I'm never going to catch an entire season. I do apologize. That's 100% on me. It hasn't cracked into my life schedule. Maybe it will at some point, but at this exact moment, with everything else going on, I don't think I could be a committed every single game guy. But the NLL, what is the NLL on? What do we watch? How can I watch the NLL? Is it on ESPN?
ESPN, yeah, ESPN Plus. We get like good games will be on the ESPNU, ESPN2. The NLL Plus has its own platform now, so like, you can watch every game, and they'll do like highlights on it and stuff too. So there are streaming ways to get into it.
Okay, so I'm gonna watch. When's the season start?
So you just ended. First game's usually the first week of December.
Okay, so that's right in the middle of like playoff push for us. That's tough. That's going to be tough, Chase. I'm going to be honest. But if we could find it, we'll watch it, especially if you're playing. We appreciate you taking the time, and congratulations to you and the Bandits.
Thank you, guys. Repeat, baby.
The rallies. When's the rally? Today, you said?
Tomorrow afternoon at 5 or evening at 5, and then the boys are all coming back down. We're going to get after it, hop with some fire trucks, get drove around town, and celebrate with our fans.
Have some buffalo wings. Who's the best wing in town?
Go to Barbell. Barbell is where you got to go.
What are you putting in top of that? Labatt's? Are we putting Labatt's in there, or what's going in?
Couple Molson triple X's.
Labatt's. This thing's seeing a lot of Labatt's this weekend, and it's going to see a lot more Labatt's coming up.
Good luck to that trophy, and good luck to you. You're the man, ladies and gentlemen. Chase Frazier.
Yeah, Chase.
I like the moxie on him on the field.
Yeah.
Greasy move.
Pulled a greasy move off a face-off. We all knew exactly. I didn't know what he did, but it was certainly something with the stick to the face.
Tell you what, the NLL boys kind of give me indoor soccer vibes.
Arena boys.
Yeah, arena boys.
Yeah. That's all I thought of whenever he said, you're PLL tough. I heard the arena guys say that through different words to a bunch of the outdoor players. Oh, you guys are so good, aren't you? Yeah, you're so good. I'm excited to see the arena boys again next week.
Oh, yeah. Hell yeah. Red boots.
Oh.
You're talking about Mario?
Yeah. Cannot wait to see Red Boots.
How about Sonner?
Indianapolis Outlaw, man.
Gordo put an IG story up this morning of us after a win. CONCAFA-ing around Cary, North Carolina. I forgot about how good of a time it was down there.
It was.
We got fully invested in that. I think as I'm seeing the videos, I'm remembering like, hey, it wasn't just a really long time in Cary, North Carolina, where you weren't able to handle any business at all. Like it was. That's how
Well,
because I remember after the TST, I don't know, 2,000 emails for me to figure out, and it's like, okay, this was a long time we just spent down there, and I tore my hip flexor, and I couldn't walk because my legs were so sore. I think I forget that in the moments there was magical moments that I've not felt since retirement, basically, with those guys.
And it could have went the other way, because after that first game, because we all went in like, CONCAFA is going to win this whole thing, and then lose the first game. It's like, all right, let's get the fuck out of here. But then you respond. I think it was the game that night, scored like 6 goals. It was like, okay, yeah, this is sweet. Like the environment there it's awesome.
Target goal.
Yeah.
Very fun to watch.
Genius. Is the right way to end that tournament.
Absolutely.
I guess they're not the first soccer tournament to do that, Gumpy. I guess this has happened in other places. I'd never seen it before. I don't follow.
I've never seen it before.
They need to do that in World Cup.
Yeah, for shoot.
I guess technically, when it used to go into extra time, it used to be golden goal back in the day, but they got rid of that.
Yeah, golden goal was always the play.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, but that was when it was tied. Golden goal means winning.
Next goal.
Scoring.
Sudden death. Overtime.
Sudden death, yes. Golden goal, sudden death. But this one, they're removing players. It was like, 2-on-2 at one point on a lot of these different things.
You should just make soccer that, like, worldwide. Hey, guess what?
7-on-7.
Game has changed.
Yeah.
We're doing this now forever.
Yeah.
We're still got a few days before TST starts, so we're keeping our eyes peeled for any potential signings.
Messi had a few goals. Was it last night?
Yeah, Messi's playing really well for Inter Miami, but we do have our eyes on
yes.
A Lou.
Potential. Potential.
Is that Lou?
Potential.
Yeah.
Never know. TST's still about a week out or so. A little bit less than a week out. Lou Messi, we're sending. We got some lines in the water down here.
Ronaldo.
Yeah, Cristiano. I don't know if you heard of him. He's
coming up. Get him.
Well, he's coming up on waivers or something like that. So we're thinking about pink slipping that thing and doing the entirety of it all. Gumps, what are the possibilities of Lou Messi joining us, and more specifically, Cristiano Ronaldo? Maybe both of them at the same damn time.
Cristiano is a free agent, so that could definitely happen. I don't know. Lou Messi, if we're playing by the rules, I don't know if anybody else is in this tournament, but Lou Messi is still under contract with Inter Miami.
A lot of people are going to say we're not playing by the rules because we are certainly paying all of our players.
Trying to win.
Would like to let everybody know that.
Just judging by the comments.
Professional tournament, right? What do you mean?
This Ruggles guy, apparently he is an absolute star.
Who, Ruggs?
Is Ruggles the guy? He's an arena guy?
Yeah.
Okay, so the arena boys last year said, we got some arena guys that aren't here that better than everybody else in this tournament. Like the arena boys connected us with other arena boys, and the arena boys have now grown stronger, is what the arena boys say. Yeah, and that is not good for anybody in North Carolina, let alone TST, but just North Carolina as a whole.
That hotel.
I believe the arena boys have grown stronger. We're in a new hotel. The arena boys have grown stronger. We're not in that same hotel. We're in a different hotel now.
Oh.
I don't know what that means. I don't know if that's good or
I was going to say,
bad.
the hotel we were in was fun. I just mean the late night festivities with more arena boys at that hotel.
That's what I'm saying. I think we're at a nicer hotel. I don't know about the late night festivities. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I think the last hotel we were in was kind of secluded a little bit, and there was like a little back area where we could kind of, do some team chemistry building.
Sure.
In the late nights.
Fist fights.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Full on fist fights after 15 beers.
Team meetings. That is. Our team was everything that you would hope our team was. We're tougher than you. We felt like we were stronger than you. And at night, there's a chance our team was going to smoke and drink more than you guys were as well.
Couple cigars.
Other people were
Just a chance.
Just a chance. Other people were worried about recovery. Yeah. We're going to recover in the morning.
We got IVs. Remember, we got IVs one day.
That's right. Not just one day. We got IVs like 2-3 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was, that TST thing was wild. Those arena boys live a wild life. Those guys just hunting paychecks for soccer, however they can get, whatever. Oh, there's a tournament in a park next week. Who's playing? Well, it's not really teams. We're all just kind of getting like $200 to play. It's two different groups playing against each other, and then it's an extra $300 if you win. So that's a big one. Got invited to play that. Where's that at? St. Louis. Okay, so you're going to St. Louis for this game? Oh, yeah, definitely. Is there refs? We don't know. Is it fair? Sometimes not. But we can make $500 there, so we're going to do it. They just hustle. They're tin cup.
Yeah.
They're tin cup of soccer. These arenas.
They're so good. Those guys are so good. Like I've watched a ton of soccer in person, but obviously I love the TST setup, how they do the games, but watching how skilled everybody is, like it freaks me out. Like that's why I enjoy watching these guys and how good they are. I'm like, you got to be on that field, like you have to be a professional soccer player.
Yes, and that is what TST has become. Like I think at the beginning TST was supposed to model after TBT, where it was like throwback teams, throwback players. Like West Virginia has one, Best Virginia, I believe is what they call. It's all the ex-West Virginia players that are no longer pro. They play in the TBT as that team, and it's like West Virginia's represented. I think that's what TBT was. The soccer one is like all semi-professional, I guess, is what they would call it.
Or retired. Like
recently retired.
One of the teams just signed Andy Carroll, who used to play for Liverpool. He's unbelievable.
Because you can't. Why is he on our team?
Yeah,
that's why I sold Foss.
What's Foss doing? Sleeping on his job? We got a great team, but we can always get better.
I mean,
especially if Lou Messi and Carroll are available.
Will Carroll show up though? Remember last year we were told Balotelli was on the team. He wasn't there.
So he didn't show up. I thought he was certainly there.
No, he was supposed to be on Nani's team or Aguero's squad.
Nani's back, right?
Yeah, they lost in the final last year.
Who won last year?
We don't think about it.
Yeah, you're right. It's not about them. It's about us. It's about us.
Nameless, faceless, brother.
It's about us.
Who's your elite? Yeah, right. We beat the fuck out of Hoosier Elite.
Hoosier Elite knocked us out of the tournament.
Yeah, eliminated.
They were very good. Yeah, they were very good.
We beat them.
And I'll tell you what, I talked to basically all of them because they are from Indiana. That team's going to be good for a long time. They're training year-round for that. That's all. It is all the alumni of Indiana. Indiana has a great soccer team. Always has had a great soccer team. All their alumni train like year-round. They play in a bunch of leagues around here. Because a couple of them are like, hey, we got to get you in our league or whatever. I'm like, definitely, because in a moment. I missed it. Maybe next year.
Yeah.
Maybe next year I'll be able to get into it. The schedule's crazy. Bummed out I'm not going to be able to get to Madison Square Garden tonight. Bummed out.
I mean, if I was Dolan and I was the owner, I would not let you anywhere near MSG.
Agreed. I respect the move. Like, I got massive respect for the move, especially because I didn't know that's who the people were going to ask,
Yeah.
Hey, heard you might want to go to Madison Square Garden. You want me to look around for tickets? Sure. Somebody from somewhere else. Hey, heard you want to go to Madison Square Garden and want me to look in some tickets? Sure. Absolutely, if it happens. I'm not 100% sure I can make it, but if the opportunity arises, would love to hear about it or whatever. Yeah, that's going to be a no. So unless you want to buy off SeatGeek, which you certainly can, and SeatGeek is the greatest ticket buying platform on planet Earth and the moon. Right now, you use the code PAT30.
30? Yep.
PAT30, PAT30. You get $30 off any tickets. So I could pay $69,970.
Okay, not bad.
For one?
Yeah. I think it's 70 grand for one ticket.
Yeah.
You think
So who is going to buy that? Is that seat going to be open?
Oh, the fees. Sorry. Yeah, we got to bump that up. 78,000.
Boom.
There you go.
$970.
Boom.
What's that, AJ?
So what happens if they don't sell that ticket? Because there has to be some of those tickets that don't get sold.
Seat fillers.
171,000 now for that seat. Yeah, they've sold them.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they've sold them. 171,000. We should have bought that yesterday. We should have bought it yesterday and sold it today.
Yeah.
Yesterday it was 69,000, wasn't it?
Yep.
Now it's 171,000. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. So
That's so much money.
$12,000 just sit like behind the scores table. Jesus,
That's the guy.
Christ.
it's actually not a bad spot.
What's the $34,000 one right there in the middle? Where is that?
That's the back row of the.
It's gotta be club level.
Yeah.
Some shit.
Jeez.
Yeah, so I'm not going to make it. Ben Stiller, though, once again, very cool.
Yeah.
Ben Stiller was like, "You're always invited, brother. We'll sit together next time." It's like he's like, "Not tonight." Obviously, it has been.
What I'm saying is that's gonna be a quiet arena. There's a lot of people with money there, just not screaming.
Timothy Chalamet was very loud.
Well,
Ben Stiller was very loud.
Chalamet is a different.
Spike's not very loud. I was watching him. He was kind of more
docile.
He's been through it so much, I assume, at this point.
Yeah, I think he probably knew the way that game was going, maybe, but he's animated up there. So I think the people that are paying that are loud too. They're New Yorkers. They're loud.
Well, we know how those Ranger games were with the khakis and.
Yeah, a little bit different, I guess.
The get-in price is actually way lower than it was for games 1 and 2.
What's the get-in price?
I think it's only like $300 for like
To sit up in the top?
Yeah, for like the very top. It was like $800 for games 1 and 2.
Maybe we do that, huh? Maybe we come watch in from the top, look down on everybody,
and then come in like Sting.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Drop down.
With a baseball bat.
Right next to Ben Stiller.
Just like I fucking said. Can't wait for that game tonight.
I know.
Pumped.
Let's go Pacers. All right, H, we're going to get the hell out of here. We appreciate you, man. Great work today out of you, AJ. God damn.
How's Scotty doing? The Memorial Tournament started.
Good question.
I saw Ryan Day was golfing with Nick Saban yesterday.
Yeah.
I would like to know how that goes. If I could be a fly on the wall.
Yeah.
Well, I guess fly on the trees.
On the cart.
Saban's not hitting into a lot of trees, though. Yeah, I guess cart would be the right answer, unless they're walking.
Not a chance.
No way.
Oh yeah, they walked. It's a pro-am. They have to walk.
Yeah,
I guess it's at the Memorial, yes.
Pro-am for a PGA, yeah. They're walking.
Fly on the bag.
Peyton played. Steph played. Yeah.
Scotty's even through 4.
How's the course playing, AJ? What have you heard from the local pundits?
I've heard that the rough is very, very high and it's tough. But it's been raining and it's continuing to rain. So who knows? It always rains during the
Oh, it gets muddy out there.
Look out.
Whoever can beat the Muddy Memorial is the one that really proves themselves as the greatest golfer in the history of Ohio.
That's right.
And Ryan Day yesterday, I heard 6 under.
He was piping them.
Oh, he can play.
From the Reds?
Saban, 7 under.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Saban's
Whoa.
top 10 right now. I think he decided to play in the actual tournament.
Nick?
Sweet.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That's cool.
How about whenever the internet just decided that Nick Saban was going to be the guy that was going to figure out all of college sports?
Footballs are.
He's like, what?
Yeah. That sounds like a fun job. Let me take that on.
Who's saying that? How old am I? Who has 30 years to figure this out?
Him.
Legitimately. That job. Who's going to do it, AJ?
Maybe Bill Belichick eventually after he wins a national championship.
Well.
If he's allowed.
It's been a good day out here today.
Hell yeah.
Good ass.
2 Game 5s tonight. Oilers, Stars, Pacers, Knicks. That North Carolina situation. Well, congrats to their women's lacrosse team.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Shout out.
North Carolina women's lacrosse team won their national championship. I think there's a chance we could interview, I guess there's 2 sisters on the team. I got a text from Wiley that said, hey, there's 2 sisters on the North Carolina women's lacrosse team that are very good. I think you could have them on the show if you want to. We'd love to chit chat with them.
Is that?
I don't know anything about women's lacrosse. I know the rules are different. I turned it on one time and I was like,
What's
this
different?
feels like a different sport.
Is that the team where the coach, she won like 4 years in a row national championship, and then the next year got named the head coach at like
believe
22?
so.
Let me know.
Oh, she played in one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then immediately after she graduated, was named the head coach.
Sweet.
Wow. Greatest of all time?
It's kind of like what Jason Kidd did in the NBA. Wasn't he right after? Like, well, I don't know how long. Felt like pretty quick.
Nope, I was wrong. Different program.
I did see that.
Okay, somebody did that, though.
Yeah.
Yes.
And congrats to whoever that was.
Yeah.
Congrats to them.
Whatever program that was at, and congrats to you. You should write a book on success because it sounds like you're able to find it very quickly and have been for a long time. We're incredibly proud of you. So maybe we have a North Carolina women's lacrosse conversation in the next few days. Tomorrow is Friday, though.
Yep.
That came out of nowhere.
It did.
Yeah, quick.
This week has been very active.
Yep.
Very, very active.
Last 2 weeks. Had a lot of people in studio last week, too.
Yeah, let's keep it going.
Hell yeah.
Let's enjoy tonight. Edmonton Oilers can punch their ticket to the Stanley Cup Finals in Dallas at 8 p.m. on ESPN. Gumpy's pointing at an otter mask.
Sorry, Gump.
It's not over tonight. It ain't over tonight.
What's the shirt you're wearing?
That's City Connect. Boston Red Sox just came out.
How they doing?
27-31. Would like to be doing better, but
I thought they were the team.
we did. We spent more money than usual. Fenway Sports Group is spending. Actually, they are spending a bunch of cash on Liverpool right now as well. So I got no complaints with FSG at the moment.
Drew Ruggles won the TST 2 years ago.
With the assist, actually, Chad Porch, another guy on our team, scored the game winner last year. So
I didn't know Fosso was in his bag.
We got to build the squad here.
I didn't know Fosso was in his bag like that. I do love people are asking me, they're like, so you're not going to play? You don't want to play? I'm like, that guy's on our team. Why the fuck am I going to go out there? Like, well, isn't that what this whole thing's for? It's like, no, we got a team, CONCAFA. We're in there to win, okay? Consider me an owner of a team.
Yeah, trying to win a title.
I'm the owner of a team who's also a player coach if I have to be.
Yeah.
And we got Tony Miolo on the bench with Tab Ramos.
Yeah.
And Gumpy.
Coach Gump.
Coach Gump got 2 yellow cards last year. Not scared to get 4 this year.
Yeah.
Not scared to go out there and start a scrum with the stripes.
Get a red.
Tony Miola's trying to ask a real question, and Gump, what are you doing?
I mean, we were getting hosed in that game. It might have been a turning point. We were down 2-0 at that time. Came back and won 3-2.
That's right. We need more of that out of you.
Come on, guy!
Jeff Cameron also.
Gump just losing it. No one else.
We're going to let Gumpy go to bat for us out there? No way. Let's rally, boys. That's what they did in the huddle. I was there. Jeff Cameron, not able to play. He was one of our best players last year.
That's bad.
That's not good news. He's going to be there, though. He's chirpy.
Coming.
He's chirpy.
He said Breck Shea is in the best shape he's been in years.
CONCAFA. Yeah, Breck is awesome. Breck will fight you, too. We got a lot of guys on our team that'll fight you.
Dogs.
Which I like.
Yeah, I think you guys are gonna play bully ball a bit, I think.
Florida Panthers of this tournament.
Yeah.
If you will.
Patrick Mahomes has chit-chatted about playing in the Olympics, maybe in flag football. I'll probably leave that to the younger guys. Patrick Mahomes doesn't want to represent the United States of America.
Or Jamar.
Maybe he's tired of this Poussette guy talking about him.
I'm sure he is.
Ed?
Yeah.
You do have to be very, very agile, I feel like, as a quarterback in this flag football I have seen, right? Is that how the Olympics is going to be as well?
Lamar and Kyler.
I'm starting to think we just roll out our UFL guys and like, hey, let's just see. All right, because
what are you talking about? Let's just see in the Olympics.
No, I'm just saying. Let's just see what these.
The UFL. Have you seen a single snap of that this year? I have. Marquette King. Did you see his fake?
Yes, I did.
That was sick.
Boom.
4th and 11. Shook a guy. Marquette on a fake punt. I don't know how he punted the game. I assume he did well, but I saw him run, shake a guy. Guy ended up on his face. Marquette hit him with a little hezzy. Did his thing. That's the only play I've seen this year. Have you seen any others?
I actually watched the end of a game. Oh, when was that?
Why are you laughing about that?
I've seen some. I've seen some.
No, I didn't see any G League basketball either this year. But
it's spring football. It's more football. More football is good football.
Yeah.
They had a banger. I think it was Sunday. Team was up 9 going into score. They fumbled on the goal line. So the team that was down 9 got the ball, went down, scored a touchdown with 2 seconds left. So then they had to go for 3. Guy caught it.
You can just end it right there.
Tackle on the 1 yard line.
Go for 3.
That ain't fucking football.
Okay.
Hey, we're down 18. We just got to score a touchdown, and then we complete the 50-yard pass from midfield, and then we win.
It was hot.
That ain't fucking football. I appreciate what they're trying.
Yeah, I do. Shout out to Rock.
There's not even like a Jake Bates story this year either. Like a kicker making.
You don't know.
Yeah,
Detroit.
Hot Rod.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Is he still on the streak?
I assume.
I know.
Puka's brothers are out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Who are
Puka's
the
brothers are
coaches?
fighting fans.
Stoops is out there.
Bob Stoop.
Yeah, like the coaches are big name guys that were head coaches.
Let it go, Stoops.
I'm going to be honest, and this sounds like such an asshole thing to say. When their quarterback said that we're going on strike or whatever, all right.
That was it.
All right.
That was it.
You guys lost $60 million last year. Let's get back. It's good for football.
Yeah.
Gives guys opportunity to showcase themselves.
I know Jay Sternberger's been fucking eating for Birmingham. I do know that. I've seen he has scored multiple touchdowns this year. I believe they won the title last year.
Wow.
So, yeah, I'm a bit of a Birmingham guy myself. But
Birmingham was the home to all the teams, right, at one point?
yeah, a couple years ago.
Did you see the video?
I think
of-
they might still be.
Did you see the video of
Maybe, I
the
don't
stadium this past weekend?
No, was it?
Somebody put out a video of Birmingham.
Wall, I thought.
Yeah, wall to wall is a good call. A lot of people dressed
Wasn't
like
the case?
seats.
Well, remember
How
when
do
the
you-
guy wanted pizza?
Ordered Little Caesars. They kicked him out of the league
Yeah.
because he wouldn't eat the slop they were serving.
That was when the
That's it.
That's when the league was
right.
You're cut. We're gonna have to cut you loose.
This guy wants pizza.
We told you no fucking pizza. All right. So eat the fucking shit we got for you.
Yeah, but it's good. It's good for football players to have another opportunity to play football.
No doubt.
I respect that. But I feel like just a lot of the things that have been done and said and everything that just nobody's really been able to execute a spring football league with the success.
Till now.
That's what I'll say with success. Till UFL.
Till now.
They need to let Marquette play fucking quarterback.
Yeah.
Let him play
Yeah,
quarterback.
Me play wide receiver.
Need to let Dwayne Johnson play D line. I'll watch.
I've seen him get up in his stance. He's still got his stance.
Oh my gosh. No, we need to let them do the enhanced football.
Oh,
that's what we need.
Good call. That's what the UFL should become. It should become the EFL.
Yes.
The Enhanced Football League.
Now we're talking.
Because the enhanced games that are happening where competitors will earn $1 million if they're able to break a world record while being juiced up on anything you can find. There will be no drug testing. There's a guy out of Australia that we are seeing pictures of for the first time, long time. And I'll tell you what, it feels like juice works. James Magnuson, Joe Pompliano reports, looks unrecognizable after preparing for the enhanced games. Contests are encouraged to use performance-enhancing drugs to break world records. If they break a record, they get $1 million. Look at that dude.
Look at his lats. Look at his lats hanging out.
Kidding me?
So he just did the same swimming workouts that he had been doing his whole life, which makes you jacked. Anyway, the backs of these swimmers are absurd. And then they're able to just pump themselves with whatever. I don't know if that helps in swimming or not.
That's what I was wondering.
But it looks like he's stronger than anybody I've ever seen go for a swim. And I can't wait to see all the other sports. If this is just kind of a little bit of a look or a peek-see at some of these athletes and what they're going to be.
I mean, I guess they are trying to break world records, so maybe you wouldn't want to do it. But like, who is there anything that says he can't like go into the next lane and like dunk a guy?
So I don't think you're allowed. I think it's still rules.
Same
It's
rules.
still same
rules.
Okay, all right, because that would be an inherent advantage.
Yeah.
But
you know,
that
if he was
guy's
that jacked. But
that guy's legs, like him kicking his legs, that's going to be like two motorboats engines.
He's not the only one. Remember, there's other enhanced athletes that are going to be out there. And remember, the enhanced games are taking place in Las Vegas in 2026. Event details, well, it's at Resorts World in Las Vegas. The dates are May 21st through the 24th in 2025. Categories are swimming, 50 and 100. That's sprints. Because we know these juiced up things aren't going to be able to go a long time.
Don't want to see.
You get freestyle, 50 meters, 100-meter butterfly, okay. Track and field, 100-meter sprint, and it looks like 110 hurdles. And then weightlifting, snatch, clean, and jerk. Okay, so you're going to see some explosions.
So we got 6 events in this thing?
6 events, all the drugs.
Nice.
World records to be broke.
Can't wait.
So if you break the world record but you don't win, what if somebody breaks a world record better than you? Do you still get $1 million?
according to that, I think you do.
The way Pompliano worded that,
Exactly.
I don't know if the Pompliano tweet would be good in court
Yeah,
if
they
you don't
both
get
do.
paid $1 million.
Yeah.
But I do wonder if you break the record just in general, you get $1 million, or do you have to be the best world record breaker to get the $1 million?
That's a good question.
Whatever the case, good luck to all the parties. Thank you for being the guinea pigs in this whole experiment.
Yeah.
Good luck.
So many torn muscles.
I mean,
Let's hope
we're gonna
that's
see
it.
some hamstrings ripped off the bone. Yeah.
And then they're going to be back somehow the next day.
Yeah.
Don't worry. Because if there's no limit, I mean, they could just be taking shit.
Do they test them? Do you think? Do they test them to like make sure like their heart doesn't explode while they're out there?
No.
Do they test them? Do they test them to make sure they're on, performance enhancing drugs?
Yeah, you need. You have.
Should they have one non-enhanced person in pool, in workout, to showcase,
Like normal athlete or actual good Olympic athlete?
I don't know how big the participation is in the enhanced games. We're doing a little research.
What do you mean?
What do you mean? I see pictures of 4 competitors here. Andrei Govorov is in.
Come on.
Christian Golmiv is in.
Okay. Yeah.
Hosiv Mladinov is in.
Are these pre-enhanced pictures?
Yeah.
Yeah, because look, James Magnuson can fit in a T-shirt. Can't fit in a T-shirt now. You should see what Christian Kolomiv looks like now. His mustache triple.
I mean, these are all massive draws, so I get.
Why don't we just go ahead and say we're interested in competing just to see what we get down there at the bottom?
The Golemiv guy you were just he actually already broke the world record a couple days ago in the 50-meter free.
So he's going to do it again. He's doing it for free. We'll see if he can do it on a big stage.
Yeah.
At the Enhanced Games in Las Vegas, Nevada, the World Resorts Arena.
I love that too. Get all these people who just juiced out of their minds, fucking send them to Vegas. Hey, don't kill anybody. Don't kill anybody. Don't get all fucking roided up and boozed up and kill somebody. But if you do,
get $1 million. Yeah. You can bury him in the desert.
I'm going to watch.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Highlights. Definitely the clips.
Yeah, the clips.
It's on ESPN, right?
I don't think it's secured in ESPN licensing.
Probably YouTube or something.
There's a chance. If this goes in, we're watching.
All right.
Okay.
Bang.
Oh.
Bang.
Come on.
I want to watch, damn it.
Yep.
bonus ball.
Bonus. Oh.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
It's never come back
Shout
up
out
on the
Jabba.
stage.
Here you go.
There it is.
Two enhanced.
Two enhanced, yeah.
Two enhanced. Two enhanced for the enhanced game.
Get it going.
Yep.
It's enough. I get the right signs.
Yeah, that's tough.
Good luck to everybody out there. All right, be a friend, tell a friend something nice might change your life. We're in this thing together. Team on me. Team on 3. Let's enjoy tonight's Game 5s. There's a time right around the corner here where we're not going to have, it's going to be a lot of baseball.
Sad.
Going to be a lot of baseball.
Yeah, best time of the year.
Yes, it is. We're going to be looking forward to the enhanced games.
Yeah, man.
Team on 3. Everybody have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow. 1, 2, 3. Goodbye.